I'm just gonna keep dancing.
Welcome, friends. Last we left off, our brave adventurers, our sailors of the Amber Falls, arrived at Spindlehaven. And while at Spindlehaven, Thomas has been tasked with the responsibility of selling the bulk of their lapis baelina that they were able to find from the whales that they followed for a bit to collect all of the whale stones that they possibly could, because they have ambergris or ambergris depending on whether or not you're in Marseille. And Jon Kodrog is currently on a more personal engagement.
Oh yeah.
He gathered his equipment, a special letter that he referenced, then went out and immediately bought drugs.
You bought a dram? Was it a dram?
I think it was a dram.
You bought a dram of snake oil.
Yeah.
Yep.
AKA the purest mercury. It's like iridescent, like snake scales, and fluid like a snake. That's
just like the fact that you honed into the innermost adventurer in you, where any video game ever gives you a quest of this is the utmost importance, and you're like, great, and then the seller's just like, hey, do you want drugs? And you're like, yes.
Hey, I'm a sailor. You know, not a choir singer. Paladin. There we go.
Hey, you be nice to us paladins, right?
I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those stooges dressed up outside the temple.
Yeah, but they're so fancy.
They're like court jesters.
Hey! You be nice.
Throwing shade, guys.
At least I can reach the top shelf.
Not without a mage hand.
That's why Thomas wears heels. So.
Speaking of which, this week, and I'm going to segue out this week while we work on spells. That's one of the spells I want you and I to work on.
Mage hand?
Our version of Mage Hand, but it's going to be like a TK thing.
Okay.
So,
I have ideas.
Who do we want to go to first? Kodrog or Thomas? Should we decide? Or should we ask somebody else?
I think you should go to Kodrog, because I went last time first.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I was thinking Thomas because I finished the game last, but, you know, doesn't matter. Flip a coin.
Yeah, I guess roll
audience,
for it.
would you like to see what Thomas is doing or what Kodrog is doing first? Which one is your...
Choose your favorite.
I was going to say, this is pretty much just saying who's your favorite. And I think it's Kodrog. Just saying.
Right, one vote for Thomas.
Oh,
One vote for Kodrog.
Oh, it's even Stevens.
I knew it!
Larry!
I mean, Larry's on the ship right now scraping barnacles.
Well, Larry should be on the ship now scraping barnacles.
It's true. We need one more vote, guys, just to break it.
Let's get one more vote. We got a couple of people watching. One more person to let us know who we should go to. Tiebreaker is...
Yep.
Do we do a drum roll?
I mean, your drum roll is going to be for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to do the funeral march. Do. I
think they're waiting us out.
I think so, too. You know what? Which one do you feel like starting with?
Larry.
Okay.
I mean, we can.
Totally. I can give you a cutscene of what Larry's doing right now.
Do it while we're waiting.
Okay. Let's go back to the Amber Falls. She's tied up onto the dock. Gently. The large white barricades placed along her side as she is now attached to it have these whitish fur-covered bats that cling onto them and fly around. There are tiny drake-like creatures, like wyverns almost, two-legged, winged reptiles also swooping about. Barnacles on the isle itself in the dock have grown excessively large, and there are a decent number of ships that have docked nearby. The captain has purchased a small contingency of armed men to stand at the entrance of the Amber Falls to watch to make sure nobody comes in and off. Larry has donned a pair of grindstone boots and his newfound friend that Arthur has given to him, has made his way underneath the Amber Falls. As he's scraping along the side of the ship in his misery, he's miserable. He doesn't want to be doing this.
He's cursing everyone's name.
Everyone's name. He digs into the side of the ship, pops into the underside of the barnacle-looking thing, large, whitish gray with some tinges of blue shell that grows up and encrusts, and then has a collection of finger-like claws that cover the opening every once in a while, jutting out, especially closing up when something comes near. And so they're all closed as Larry is beating on them, and he smacks them and he bashes them and he scrapes at them, trying to knock them off. Nearby his head, there's one that has grown to the size of a watermelon. And as it's unafraid of Larry, Larry sees it, and when the barnacle's not closed up with its claws, it rolls back inside this strange pyramid-shaped shell, and it produces these tiny little feather-like tendrils that drift out, and they look worm-like or morsel-like, and the silly little creatures that flitter and float around see it as an opportunity to grab food, or at least, it looks like food to them. And so as Larry watches, he sees one of these little draconian lizards float by and try to nip at the creature's tongues. And in doing so, the creature tries to reach out and snatch it. Larry sees this, he's like, but the little thing, he gets away. And Larry thinks to himself, oh yeah, I'm gonna have some fun. So he waits for a moment. The big barnacle returns back to its position where it's got its tendrils reached out, flittering. He creeps along the edge of the boat, getting ever so closer to one of the white bats that are hanging off the buoys, the protective buoys, and he pulls his newfound friend back like a baseball bat, Babe Ruth style, over his shoulder. He takes a step forward and he swings toward it. But instead of making a nice solid whack and hitting the bat creature to go flailing toward the large barnacle, he instead smacks it hard enough that he pops off the edge of the ship. The head of his tool comes off, and Larry careens away from the Amber Falls. Aggravated at his moment, he begins thrashing for something to grab a hold of. Luckily for Larry, his new friend finds him instead, as Larry's head suddenly gets entwined with these tentacly-like feathers, and then this huge maw reaches out from the barnacle and grabs Larry and starts pulling his head in. There's some gumming action going on. Unfortunately, Larry, pulling out his pocket knife, begins stabbing into the barnacle repetitively, fighting for his dear life. The barnacle's outer shell is hard. Larry's eating knife is hard too, but it takes a lot of effort before the thing, almost like a face hugger, spits him back out because, taste reasons.
Oh man, I just imagine him giving up and hanging there, and Arthur coming by to check on him and just being like, "What the fuck?"
So that's what Larry is up to. Did we get a third vote or last vote for somebody?
Oh yeah.
Yep, I got
two
more people in chat.
We found out what Larry's doing. Now, who do you want to guys listen to first? Larry? No, I'm sorry. Larry was first.
Larry was first.
Larry
Let's
again?
go back to Larry again. No,
this is the Larry
Thomas
show.
or Kodrog? We had
First vote calls it.
Yeah, because two people have already said Thomas and Kodrog. So
Don't make us roll for it, because...
Yeah.
Oh, there we go, Thomas again.
I'm not gonna. I'll allow it.
I'll allow it.
Great.
Awesome.
So, Thomas, you
Yes.
and Maria were
Yeah.
having a somewhat personal discussion about your interests in,
Your interests.
yes.
My interests, just plain interest. Yes, because she flirted with me. And straight out asked if I was single. So
Well, I mean, that's what you got to do. Life is short.
I can't wait to tell my best friend Kodrog that Maria hit on me though.
I'll borrow this for just a second, because so I can read
Of course.
the words.
So, as you are approaching, you have arrived at the Order of the Ancient Chestnut Coffer. It is
Great.
a pretty well-known, it's an established wholesaler that has their main offices here in Spindlehaven, because it is a very much a thriving port town, and lots of goods come and go on a very daily basis. They move cargo, and they move a lot of it. And so you and Maria are hoping to unload at least 1/3 of your lapis spalina to the wholesaler before you go find a perfumer or somebody who is more interested in the higher quality of whalestones that you all retrieved in the void. As you walk in, it's very dark. And not like dark because it's like dark, it's dark because it's like dark paneled walls. These are like really nice. This is money. This is like stained dark wood paneling for all of the walls with nice like wall sconces, like dispersing yellow light across the room.
The floors, the grindstones are under carpets most likely, because you can feel the pull onto your boots, but the floor's still carpeted.
Yeah. It's an interesting sensation as you walk across it. It's like carpet and grindstone you wouldn't normally think would go together, but it seems that they've managed to make it a cozy, welcoming place. In front of you is there's kind of like a small waiting area. There's a bar with, that's maybe about like 4 foot wide, and it's got, jacks, like, is that what we call them? The jacks with the mugs with the lid on them?
Yes.
It's got jacks, and then it also has a bottle of clear liquid in a nice decanting squeeze bottle.
Yep. Steins would be a good example.
Mm-hmm.
But when there's no gravity, opening a stein is a bad idea. So we're calling them a jack, because they have a leather, they're more like a sack inside of a frame that you can just kind of like squeeze and manipulate the liquid.
They're like a
around
sippy cup.
Like a sippy cup.
Yes, they are like a sippy cup.
A sippy cup for adults.
It's a sippy sack.
Sippy sack.
Ooh, that does not sound great.
There is a counter with one of the counters that also has like the fold up like wood panel that you can go into like the back area of the wholesaler's office. And as you walk in, there's a dingling of a bell to give you the impression that they're waiting for you. Right?
Well, it's not a bell though. It's a clacker that you would
yes,
tap,
thank you.
because no bell's going to ring. So you hit a clacker, and it makes some noise.
Okay.
What are you doing? What do you do?
Yeah, I think
Currently you don't
I'll
see anyone right now, but the folding up to the counter is currently over. So if you wanted to, you could go back and try to bother someone.
Yeah, I think I would, because like I would use that like clacker, that bell, to get their attention, and then I would do it again and wait, and then I would probably walk up to the counter / screen thing and Just clear my throat.
Hey, get up here! I need you to buy stuff from me.
Yeah, it's pretty much like, excuse me. I'm like trying to be as polite as possible.
Start slapping the clacker until someone comes out.
Well, that's pretty much what happens if no one answers him. He's just like, all right, and then he just starts ringing it. Like,
Excellent. So it doesn't take very long after your
Great.
liberal use of the clacker.
really great. Good start.
Yes. That a takeout in somewhat imagine a vest that's very nicely tailored to
Yeah, it's got
gentleman.
embroidery on it.
Mhm.
Maybe for the symbols, what would look like maybe house symbols or something. You're not really sure. Beaded work into it as well.
Yes. The takeout for our new people, a takeout is one of our original races that is similar to a lizard folk, except they have been descended from dragons. They do have a tail.
They tell you
They
that they're
tell
descended.
you. Well, you know what they are. They're descended from dragons, as every single takeout will tell you.
But if dwarves look back into the history, they weren't.
They have scaled skin, typically in orange coloring. There's a rare occasion where there will be blues, or even rarer still, whites. This one has what looks to me like a nice deep orange scales with a couple blue scales like freckles kind of over the shoulders that you can see from the vest.
They also are a bit thinner
Yes.
than lizard folk. Proportionally wise, there's differences. They don't have as much of a snout, and their bodies have spikes. They
Yes.
they have a crest. They have spikes along the back of their elbows. They don't actually have very pronounced claws, and their tail isn't really good for anything but balance.
Yes, and they do have the spikes can be retractable is not
Retractable is not a very good word, but it's the only word that we have to kind of fit what can happen with them.
Does it
and-
fold with their skin? Because retractable is like
It
going
falls
in and out.
until
yes.
they want to until they're
So, like, if
defended, and then it'll
if they're like in a
pops
fight,
out.
they can like twist their muscles hard enough, and it's like a fingernail, a really thick fingernail that can come out the back of their elbow. They could stab with, or if they feel threatened, they can ball up and they can make their spikes or kind of protrude farther out, which makes it harder for something to nom on them.
extendable. Thank you.
I like that
Like
word,
a
extendable. We will use that.
Giant
Extendable
armadillo.
spikes.
Yes, armadillo is a good description.
Except not really.
Yeah.
Like how they
Yes,
ball
but no. Yeah. Yes and no. More like
So,
a hedgehog.
That's what you see as you walk. He comes up. He is
He greets you with a smile, but when he talks, you realize, oh, that's not a he, that's a she.
Mm.
And she says, greetings. Welcome to the Chestnut Coffer. I apologize about your wait. I was detained in the back. How can I help you? Maria takes a step forward. Did you want to speak? Because I don't want to cut you
No.
off. That way
No,
I'm not
it's
role playing
fine.
with myself.
I just Thomas basically apologizes for the clapper. Like,
It was just so fun to play with.
it's yeah. I travel with a Kesh and dangly things. It just gets my attention.
So Maria will actually, you know what? We'll let you do the socializing at this point in time because that way the role playing is not just one sided with me. You can lean
Yeah.
back on Maria because this is part of your job training and the job that you're in because this is what she normally would do.
Yeah,
This is the low end. When it gets to the high end, she might do all the talking.
that's fair.
So the takeout stares at you too. It says, "How can I help you?"
Yes, well, we're looking to sell a fairly large hold of ambergris.
She raises a slight eyebrow, not trying to give away too much impression. A hold,
About a
About-
third of it.
about a third of a hold. A a hold filled. How big is the ship? Maria looks at you and goes, "No, we're looking to sell some drams."
Yeah, I don't think you understand what I meant with a hold. We're selling this, and it's like a barrel. But yeah, he'll call it as a dram. I don't
brought with you an example of the products that you're wanting to part with. So you have maybe about a fist-sized chunk of the lapis spalina, and so that's what you would be presenting as you're discussing the.
Sure, I'll present that then. I'm not good with selling things, guys. I'm good at persuading people, but bluffing and intimidating.
I think that's what Maria is looking towards. She's looking for you to show that you can do this because it's part of the job, selling things and bartering and stuff. So she'll smile, step forward, Seth, and she extends her clawed hand towards you.
Great. I'll hand it over.
She looks at her hand. I thought it was a human custom to touch hands.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thomas. He shakes her hand.
Oh, you shake her hand. She goes, "Oh." Maria introduces herself as well, and the take-you-out takes the box, looks into it for a moment, and begins pulling out the ambergris and playing around with it and fingering it, and sizing up the sample itself. She'll sniff it. She won't taste it. She'll definitely sniff it though. It's like a grayish colored stone, and so she weighs the value of it by looking it over, and she goes, I am interested. I'm interested in this purchase, but I am not the expert. I need to go gather him. Or if you don't mind, I can take this to him, and then I will return after he has looked over it. Is this acceptable?
I'd rather you go get him.
She'll smile. Of course. Please. And she points to a hatch near the roof, a hatch above you guys. She goes, there's a small waiting room in there, a collection of small books as well as some drinks, if you would like to take a small load off. I have to send a runner for him.
Thank you.
So she will turn and step back into the back room, and Maria goes, yeah, we're not trying to sell a third. We just want to sell some.
Yeah, no, that's
yeah.
A third of a thing. So, yeah.
A third?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, okay, so this is me, Max. I thought, we were going to say, we're only going to sell a third of it to you.
Well, yeah, you're not going to say that, but
Okay.
that's how much you're willing to part with.
Got it.
Yeah. So you would be like, when they ask you, well, how much do you have? Then you would say, I have this much, which is a third of the total thing. That's basically how I view it. Yeah.
Okay. I'll go with it.
I think the other mistake would be is that even if you have more, unless they are willing to buy the other stuff, but we're not willing to sell it, so But yeah, Thomas will go up to that room.
Right.
And he'll look at through the books and probably not be interested in any of them.
Yeah, I can't really imagine that a sitting room like this. They might have some naturalist guides and some other local magazines, small collections of short stories written by local authors, and maybe a few that's traveled around quite a bit, but nothing too exorbitant. Fancy. Nothing too fancy.
Yeah, I think Thomas
my
will.
vocabulary broke down there.
He'll have water or something if they have water. I imagine they're a fancy place. They have cucumber water.
Well, actually, the clear liquid that you think is water is actually a very strong distilled wine. It's there's a wine that my sister's boyfriend brought back from Georgia, not the state, the country. And oh my gosh, it's crazy. So it's weird grape licorice. Ooh. So you take a very large you take a very large drink and then you spit most of it back into the glass.
And I would imagine Maria just looking at me and goes, "This isn't water." I'll sit down and I'll sip it. God.
So you guys hang out for probably about 25 to 35 minutes before Siath floats up to the hatchway and looks in and says, Sersian, the scry is here. Cesrin, the...
Woo!
Woo!
What was that? Oh, okay, cool.
Cool. We're hosting ourselves. That's great. How did that happen?
Good job, guys.
Excellent. So...
Cesrin?
Cesrin.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cesrin the scry will...
Cesrin the scryer.
Oh, yes. I'm just butchering this one. Can we just call him Sesame Seed?
No.
Okay.
Yes!
Just Cesrin.
Cesrin.
Yes.
Older gentleman. Older Takeo. Maybe?
No.
I don't know. Let's see. What should we use?
Just use a human.
An older human. Drifts
Cesrin? It sounds like an exotic human name and or Takeo, just for my brain.
Yeah. I think we're just going to go with exotic human. He's old. Older human, wearing simple pants and robe, simple robe and pants and shirt and stuff like that. Kind of has a small bag with him. Drifts up into the room with you guys. Most of the furniture, of course, is like something you can kind of scoot down into, but for the most part, furniture really isn't important. You just kind of stop moving for a little bit because there's no grindstones in this room.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so he drifts up into the room and smiles, looks at you, and says, "May I see it, please?"
Thomas will nod and
He
go
has
into
an
his
accent that you're not quite sure where to place it.
Yeah, that's fine. And he'll hand over the rock.
Go for it.
So, Cesrin takes the rock. He takes out a cloth, a fine black silk cloth, and sets it upon the table. Smooths it out very gently. Sets the piece of ambergris that you brought, or whalestone, back. It sets it gently on there. He takes out several small tools from a pouch in his shirt pocket and begins. First, he cuts it into a few different pieces and spreads them all out on the table. He picks one up. He sniffs it very, in a way that is almost like somebody would sniff a fine wine as they're trying.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a wine sniffer.
So before
Okie.
before setting it down on onto the back to the cloth, then he takes what looks like a tiny like not a spoon, but just like a flat like almost like a table knife, and smears it across the silk. Just so you know, silk is fucking expensive.
Yeah, Thomas would know that.
And you're looking at this as he smears this
money on money,
and even Maria, you hear like the slightest gasp of like.
Thomas just kind of goes, like, I'm kind of used to this at this point.
and you see how the color, because it's against this like deep black silk, you can see the color as it's smoothing, as he smooths it out. You notice that it's not all one color. It's several different shades of gray over the top, and that was to be expected because you're not providing them with the top end stuff. You're just trying to unload the stuff that a real person's not gonna want to do. So
the high quality stuff is going to be sold elsewhere. The low quality stuff is going to be sold here.
Exactly. And so once he's smeared it out, he inspects it with he had spectacles that were around his neck. He puts them together over his eyes, and then he looks very closely at the smear that he made across this black silk cloth.
Yeah.
And then he does something that you were not expecting. He smears his finger across that and then puts it right on his tongue.
Yep.
And you see it, like... And he has, like, you know, his game face is just flat. Like, you don't see him react to it, you know, as far as, like, it's being gross. You know it's gross. That's
Thomas just watches this, and he just goes... And he, like, looks away, trying not to... He's like, I'm being polite. Don't gag. Don't gag. Like...
Okay, and... then, you know... puts everything back where it was, uses the cloth to wipe off his fingers, and
turns to Seth, and he begins speaking to her in not, I wouldn't say hushed tones, because you can hear him somewhat, but you realize he's not speaking in Dwarven anymore. What languages does Thomas know?
Oh boy, he knows a lot, I think, or he used to.
We're still basing it off of previous.
Okay, hold on.
The number of languages you know are the same.
If it's his old set of languages, let me find it, because that's the one thing I didn't have open. I remember I had it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
I can't seem to find it.
Well, I'm pretty sure you don't have this one, because nothing in your character background.
I had Keshin. I had,
You spoke Sylvan from your time at the Druids.
Yep. I had, I can read Elven.
Yes.
I had Draconic when it was... when it was a language.
Yes.
But other than that, I think that's it.
Yeah, so you know Dwarven, you speak the arcane language, the arcane tongue. You know Sylvan, and you can read Elven. I think that about covers it. So whatever this guy's talking, you don't know his words, but you recognize it as Lycanian, being an educated individual.
Okay.
The woman the Takiao seems to interpret his words, nods, and as he speaks, she should be generally happy. I think she's happy. I mean, with what they're offering, and so she'll let's see. So she pauses after hearing all this stuff, thanks him, and
provides him with 5 silver coins. This guy is expensive.
And so Sieth says in Dwarven, "Thank you, kind sir, for your speediest, your quick arrival. You have definitely helped me." She'll reach out, and this time you notice that the two of them, they touch palms, they touch hands, and that's it. Then they drift apart. Then not all the shaking and whatnot. And then he leaves through the hatch, and she turns and she taps her little fingers together, and she goes, "How much is this third you spoke of, weight-wise?"
Thomas would know.
Maria hands you the book, the log.
Great, yeah. He takes it, opens it, and I guess reads it.
Sure. Because for the purpose of the game, we don't have an actual mass, because there's no reason to have that. It's just flavor text. So you express how much you're willing to sell, i.e. the 1/3. And she gets a rather excited look on her face. Excellent. Do you have a price?
I imagine we do. Would Thomas know this off the top of his head?
I do believe you guys had talked about that in a previous show.
We were talking, I think it was like $8,000. It was like
the total of everything. But this is the low end, not very good quality stuff. So you guys were expected to,
maybe if you're lucky, bring back 1,500. Maybe.
Just
Thomas
for the first third.
Yeah, Thomas will go for 1,500, and I would imagine if she doesn't like it, she'll bargain. So,
Exactly. In weightlessness, there is no mass.
Yep. And I don't mind her going
so
down.
It's an amount.
Yep.
All right. So you say 1,500, and she pauses for a moment. You can see that her spikes extend, pull in, and drag, and as she's like thinking, as she's like flexing and whatnot. That's quite a bit. I mean, it's not bad quality.
Ah, yes.
What's that?
Nothing. They're sciencing it out in the chat.
Oh yes, you guys have fun with that. She's
Nerds. I love
she's
you
like,
guys.
Yes, 1,500. Are you sure? You can make a sense motive.
Yeah. It's like, am I sure? Yeah. Am I sure?
Like she seems to be acting as if maybe that's too much or something.
11. Okay. Da 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 da. Oh god, dice. All right.
She's got like a little bit of a worried look on her face, like, oh, 1,500 for this amount and that quality. Are you sure?
Oh god, don't fall.
Radio, go get some coffee.
I got 9 out of 11.
By the way she's acting, by the way she's doing, you feel she's acting. Because she's like trying to make you feel empathetic for her.
Yeah.
I have to pay 1,500 for something of this quality.
Yeah. Thomas will just simply say it's
lot.
actually good quality and it's a lot.
So you won't come down on your price, honey?
Thomas won't answer that. Because
you don't answer.
Thomas is really nice and he is empathetic. So when she's like, "Oh, you won't come down on that," he'll just he'd be like, "Well, if you want like 13, I mean, sure." But like, Thomas needs to get paid.
And remember, if you don't bring back enough money, you have to look Larry in the eyes, explain to him why he doesn't get a lot of money.
Yep.
So, she turns away. There's a lot of pantomiming as she contemplates it, and she goes, "Fine, I think this is a worthwhile endeavor. I'll take the amount that you're offering for 1,500, and I want it counted and measured by my own people."
Very well.
Maria says, "Great, because that's the only way you're going to pick it up, is if you get it picked up by your own people."
Yeah.
She, seeing that Maria has popped in, kind of ignores her, turns to you and says, "I'll get a writ set up. You can take it to the bank. You can take it to, we need a banker's name. Audience, I need the name of a moneylender or a money changer."
Is it wrong that I just thought of like Mustache von Baron? Like, and he has like a giant beard.
I am Mustache von Baron.
And like, and every single time you come in, he's like, "Oh!" And you're like, "Okay, I just want my money."
Okay, that's
Alexandris Larishka.
cool. I like the Larishka. That was pretty cool.
All right. She will say, "I can give you a writ, and it is for the amount of money. Alexandros Larishka is who it will be for. He will be able to get that amount of money delivered to you."
Perfect.
And you can find him at... Waiting for a name of a bank. Oh boy.
Yeah, oops. Ugh.
Now I'm just thinking of Green Guts.
Right? I mean, and it can be anything. It could just be Moneylender Central.
Ooh, I've got it. We're gonna
It's Gree Guts.
We're gonna use what Lunar has suggested.
Okay.
And we'll say, you can find him in the part of town referred to as Paramore. Paramore.
Yeah.
Seek him out.
Just say,
He is the only money lender in the area, and he will be able to fulfill this writ. One moment, I'll be right back. Maria, when the Seth slides out of the room, Maria opens the back of the logbook, pulls out the paper writs for you guys. That's the stuff that their crew members would show up. You know, it's already pre-signed out. So Sieth is gone for probably about another 20 minutes before she returns again with the writs. The names are all there. Everything seems pretty legitimate. The ink is just drying for the most part. 1,500 gold pieces.
Yes.
For the writ?
Yeah, 1,500 gold piece writ.
Did we prepare for that? I would imagine we did, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, he'll hand it over.
Okay, so you hand over the paperwork for the picking up of the cargo is what you would hand back to Sieth.
Yeah. So you have your paperwork that you're going to hand to him, and he has his that he's handing to you. So you go off and you arrange
I'm not good with money,
however
guys.
your money is going to get over to the Amber Falls with Lariska, and they are going to bring over their people to take the whalestones from off of the ship.
Right. Perfect. Yeah, I'll hand over the paperwork then and do all fancy stuff.
Excellent.
I'm going to write that name down.
Yes,
Alexandros Lariska. I like it.
it's a good name.
There we go.
Meanwhile.
Meanwhile.
You want to do this as a meanwhile?
Yeah, do it.
Okay. Meanwhile, back on the ship, Larry has successfully won against the barnacle that was trying to eat him. He pries the big thing off and realizes it's big enough. Maybe he can hide behind it.
Oh no, Larry, no. That's a bad idea, Larry.
Yeah, so like anybody else would be like, this is big enough to maybe even make a decent stew for once.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Not Larry.
Not Larry. Larry
I'm gonna hide behind it.
Larry is going to slowly dragging his prize along. Well, not dragging, it's floating behind him, but, you know, from the feathery tentacles, he's got a fistful of those in his hand, and he's dragging this weightless barnacle with him as he slowly skulks the underbelly of the Amber Falls. He looks around, and sees where the guards are. He's double-checking to see if Arthur is out on deck. Is he out on deck?
Ooh, I will do a roll for it.
Oh, Larry.
All right, low, below an 7. Yes. Let's see. Nah, it's a 14. Arthur is not on deck.
Excellent. And he
I want to
sees...
check for anybody, other officers.
Of course.
Nope, no officers on deck.
Excellent.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
He sees that the small houseboat that was moved aside by Thomas earlier, and it's within leaping distance, perhaps if he aims it right, he can keep the barnacle to his back as he reaches out towards the next boat, and so that's what he does. He studies it, and then he leaps. But because he's holding on to it by the tentacles, he's kind of misjudged the balancing, and so he begins to slowly spin instead of moving in a straight line. And so he's clung onto the barnacle about as hard as the barnacle was attached to the boat. And
Oh,
slowly,
Larry.
in slow motion, it's spinning like in this way. So it's not. So he's staying on one side, but he's going up, around and around and around.
So he's watching the world spin.
Yep.
He's gonna hit the deck and just go. Like...
Poor Larry.
He misses the houseboat completely, and he continues moving forward down the very long
Oh my
void
God.
docks.
How is this boy not kicked off the ship yet? Like, how is was he not fired?
Jason has a lot of love for people.
And actually, for
Yeah.
the most part, unless there has been something, absolutely heinous, only the princess can fire you.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, Larry was pretty close.
He was pretty close with the whales.
With the whales.
With the baby whale.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, good news, Larry escaped. Haha, from doing chores.
And that is where we end the cutscene. Larry spinning around the void docks on an extra large barnacle. And now we move on to Kodrog.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
Kodrog, you got a shit ton of awesome drugs in your pocket.
Yeah.
You got paid? You're gonna pick up some booze? You're doing good.
Yeah, I have to.
It's doing all business.
I have to make sure I get 2 fingers of dark ale for
Yeah.
Arthur.
Mm-hmm. That is 2 jugs, 1 on each finger.
Yeah. So yeah, I am on my way to the Filthy Hammer
Yes.
because I've got somebody that I need to meet there. Hopefully,
Do you remember the person's name?
Jonah Sparks.
Excellent.
Oh yeah, the band member that I was like, that doesn't.
No, he's just a roadie.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe the film?
Yeah, I want to describe the Filthy
God.
Hammer.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you do the interactions, but I want to describe the film. I got it in my
I
head.
know.
It's in my head.
If anyone can see my door open, it wasn't a ghost, it was my dog.
But what if it's a ghost dog?
Spooky
he's
ghost
now
dog.
he's
Cat
licking
ghost.
a thing now, so I mean it's a real poltergeist.
It's a cat ghost inside of your dog. He's possessed.
Can you not lick my sketchbooks? You freak.
Sounds
You
like
licked that yesterday.
Sounds like
Hey, stop it.
look at all the soap everywhere.
Thank you.
Okay, now hold on. It was not a ghost who opened the door, but who closed the door? Did he hook it with his tail, or was it a ghost?
It totally goes. It was my mom.
Oh.
I should have totally left it as like I don't know.
What? It closed?
It did. It did look like she wasn't the one that closed it. Oh my god.
The outside
Sorry,
of the-
interrupted with dog.
That's great. The outside of the Filthy Hammer is unique and different from the rest of the construction around the area. The outside seems to be a solid iron wall. There's rivets, big bracing bars. You can see as you're walking through this area, as you're getting closer, following. I'm assuming you probably maybe asked some people, you got a map or something, because I don't know if you've been here before, but a lot of
I've been to Spindlehaven. I don't think I've come to the Filthy Hammer.
a lot of the construction that is in this neighborhood is dwarven. A lot of the doors, dwarven height. A lot of the alleyways and passageways, dwarven. Everything around here has a lot of circles and pillars and whatnot, which is a dwarven construction routine. And so there's not a lot of grindstones. Since everything can float, everything does float. As you get to this area, the grindstones come to a stop, and you start feeling like you're back at home. Look at all this stuff. As people now are drifting instead of walking or clomping around on the stones, they're now drifting through the ways. And you can see it's predominantly like the normal traffic you would see on an iron home. Everybody sticking to either the right or the left. You come to this large wall of iron with brackets, rivets, an opening, and you can see the remnants of 2 large forges and billows. You can see the couplers where the billows would set inside the Filthy Hammer. Just as you're passing by the first window-like opening that's been cut, where like a stack used to be coming out. You can still see the remnants of piping for the stack where the billows would pump the smoke out. So yeah, this looks like it used to be an old dwarven forge. That's your best guess as you pull up to it. The neon on the outside, the glowing sign, because the magical sign that flashes or that just is there. lets you know that you've made it to the Filthy Hammer, as the emblem is of a rusty, dirty-looking hammer, and in a dwarvish, it's written on the wall, painted Filthy Hammer.
Tavern names are awesome. They make me happy.
There is no door. It's just an opening. The doors are open right now. There's a lot of music, and well over 24 people just hanging around the entranceway. As you begin hovering in, they're floating. There's people. The entranceway is round.
Right.
People are hanging outside onto. There are bars that are tacked onto the wall that you can hang on to just casually. Or you can float there however you want. There's a nice breeze coming out, as looks like one of the billows is still running. As you're kind of drifting in that direction, a golden-haired beauty hanging out near the entranceway. She's dressed in like a very... What?
It's a bar. She's gorgeous. She's a hooker.
She's got golden hair, a nice fine... She's got a nice fine golden chops. She's wearing what would best be described as like a chainmail-like top and a dress as well. This is a very attractive dwarf. In fact, her hair's so blonde, you've never seen hair that blonde on a dwarf. It's kind of weird. It's cool, too. It's exotic.
Yeah.
As you're drifting, she see eye contact is made, and she smiles and she waves, and she'll do this quick little kick off the wall and start drifting up towards you. Hey, she'll say, "Do you want to?" Okay, start drifting over towards you.
Why, hello, big guy. Welcome to
Hooker.
the Hammer. Are you here for the bar, or are you here for upstairs?
I told you, I knew it.
Fair maiden with the golden hair, I don't have a solid itinerary.
Well, perhaps we could make some plans. Start with drinks, and she puts her hand up. She's not resting her elbow on anything. And she strokes her chops, just,
Very soft looking.
They
might be
Oh
conditioned.
gosh, how long are they?
They are short. They're tight to her face, so she's got them essentially French braided to the side of her face, and then they hang down probably about an inch or two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh man. So because her chops are so short, I assume she's quite young.
She's young. She's healthy looking. She's exotic. Wow, this is kind of neat. She's not the only lady hanging around outside that is dressed in modest ways. Modest is a bad word. Don't use that word. Modest does not fit what they're dressed like. Some of them aren't even anywhere near modest. They're on the opposite end of the spectrum of modest.
And it's not
Anti-modest.
It's not just dwarves. It's a very a collection of all sorts of beautiful women.
You see that there are Keshans and dwarves, humans. Maybe that's a Take-Yell woman. You don't know. Sorry to say, it's sometimes hard to tell.
Take-Yell are
Do they even do it that way?
So okay. So I'm going to reach out for her free hand. And say, alas, I may have business here first.
So she takes her hand and she uses it to pull herself closer to you.
So now you guys are drifting, spiraling into the opening.
Yes.
Oh man.
And she pulls you in. So now you guys are kind of just like spiraling inside the filthy hammer. She's like, business before pleasure. Are you sure? Because I find that pleasure before business seems to relax many patrons. Clears the mind.
I'm so happy Thomas
she
is
does
in
it
here.
as she like strokes your beard just ever so slightly.
Yep.
She does that thing where she like plays with the she plays with like the tips and the fringe and then like ties them up.
It's
and,
like she
twirls it
just
in her
catches
finger.
she catches like the stray hairs that stick out, and dwarves have like nerve endings in their beards anyways, so they can feel it.
Feels
God,
extra
that must
nice.
be terrifying if you have to cut them. Oh my god.
That's why we don't.
It hurts so much.
It's kind of like that's. Now I'm just thinking of the scene in Lord of the Rings where he grabs Gimli's beard so he doesn't fall off that cliff. I'm like, oh god, that would hurt.
So, I am going to sleight of hand a silver to her.
Okay.
Okay,
Where,
I thought
like,
you were going
are you
somewhere
putting
else
it
with
somewhere specific.
Yeah, I was gonna say when you said I'm going to sleight of hand, I was like,
or is
whoa.
it more like a magic trick where it comes into your hand? So like how describe what it is.
Yeah, so actually I would like to do a magic trick where it comes into my hand, and then a magic trick where it disappears into some cleavage.
Ooh.
Pretty sure that's not a magic trick, but it's
I was
called
gonna say, you can say that it's a magic trick, but at the end of the day, you're picking up a coin and just going plop right in there.
right into your...
Just slapping it in there.
I bet she wouldn't, be too upset about that.
Yeah. No, I mean she's a lady. She doesn't want to be slapped around.
She's
Gosh.
a late. Oh, pff.
You're not there, Thomas. You can't see her. You don't know how regal she is. So
I'm sorry.
when I tell the story, she's whatever I damn well please.
You're not wrong.
So, upon depositing your retainer with the young lady, she'll smile and give you a peck on the cheek, and then return to her guardly duties outside.
I'll see you real soon.
Bats eyes and gives her hips a sway as she walks
Yep.
away.
Yep.
She
I'm
floats
playing
away.
it cool. I'm playing it cool. Just
Inside
insane.
your, like, fireworks.
You two were butt up with other people who are hanging around the entrance. The entrance seems to be the coolest place. Not in the sense that just people are here. It's the coolest place. This is where the airflow is at. This room is very stifled. There's a lot of bodies in here. There are tables on the floors, the walls, the ceiling. People have pinned themselves there. You see that there's some specialized forms of gambling going on. In one part of the room, there is a small cage, and inside this cage, it's attached to two other cages. Looks like they're going to release two small dog-looking animals on each other. There's a lot of stuff going on. Gambling, people arguing. Of the many different races you see, you catch a Gathlin. You think it's a Gathlin, but his skin is a bit off to be a Gathlin. His color of his skin, the fact he has no hair like a Gathlin, he's really large. He's hanging out near the bar. Somebody says something, and the bartender says, "All right, I'm done with your shit." Large, burly human. But this massive man from across the room makes a quick bound, grabs a hold of the unsightly human who's giving some shit, and immediately starts just pushing his way over toward the door to hurdle him. The crowd near the door begins spreading out quickly because he fastball specials that guy out the front door while the human who's being thrown out, screams, "You stupid ogre!" Woof. He goes flying through the entranceway. The large man gets to the doorway, moves up, he doesn't even care. He just pushes people out of the way. For the most part, in this kind of scenario, if bumping up against somebody, you're just going to kind of move them a bit. There are handholds all over the place. Other tables, things on the wall. And he gets to the door, he pushes everybody out of the way, and he just stares. His jaw and face definition is definitely not Gathlin. You're not sure what this big brutish thing is, but he is not something you've ever seen before. Go ahead.
So, as he settles back, he's thrown the guy out. He turns around. But everybody is cheering for this. I was like, yeah! So raising their flagons, and I mean, this is a very rowdy crowd. So you wonder, like, how much more rowdy was this guy that he got kicked out?
So people are gambling, they're drinking, they are having open relations with each other in ways which would be kind of shameful to do in church.
I was gonna say, I bet this is where Bassianus is, and he has two gorgeous humans on his arm, and he's like telling them heroic stories of like, oh, I did this. Like,
check out my scar.
And they're like, oh. He hasn't paid him yet, but he's just so goddamn charming.
Yeah, he's showing them scars that he could have just pulled his sleeve up for, but he lets his shirt down and like.
Well, the thing is, Bassianus is shirtless. He is straight up. If you look at like your cliche barbarian, like the loincloth and everything, like he's pretty much like that. He has like braids in his mane. Yeah, he's I have a picture of him.
You
somewhere,
don't take him around
like,
children.
Yeah, he's meant to be intimidating, but yet, you're cliche barbarian, and yet he has a soft side, and he actually knows wisdom.
He's intimidating and socially inappropriately dressed.
Yep, pretty much. He doesn't care.
Oh man, so I don't know what Jonas Sparks is supposed to look like, right? Like I don't have the vaguest description of him. You know what? I'm going to. Does this look like the kind of place where I can sit at a table and get service, or do I have to go to the bar and get service?
You do not see a wait staff moving about.
Okay.
Well, and if you do see them, they're like,
they blend into the crowd.
In the crowd.
Yeah.
So you'll probably have to move in more to see if there's like any free floating like tables. You see that there are like surfaces, but you wouldn't call them tables because they're kind of like. Is everything okay?
Yeah. Where's the? Get the kibble. I don't know how he got in here. Hang on 1 second. We've got
Get the kibble.
The gray ghost broke in.
Get away from those crunchies.
Old man ninja.
Whew. Yeah, I reached down. A cat's rubbing up against me. I'm like, oh, it's a kitty cat. Then there was no fluffy tail. I was like, what the heck?
So yeah,
it's another ghost dog on live Twitch, guys.
Yep, exactly. So on the different like support beams, you have like flat surfaces riveted to them. So those are like your tables.
Yep.
Oh, nice.
The forges have been turned into locations for kegs and in-house brewers, which are being accessed behind the bar. There are a lot of jacks floating around. There's trash in the room floating between someone passed out to unused jacks. So there's different. You see a knife floating in the middle of the room. Somebody's pocket knife.
You see a looks like a very thin human male who is kind of drifting from like floating mug to floating mug, and you see it, and then he's just like,
slurping up abandoned jacks.
Yes,
getting the last sips of all of the.
I got a full can of beer made out of the last sips of a bunch of other beers. I found them in the dumpster.
Wow.
That's
low.
So, side note, everyone, that comment right there was the entire thing that spurred on Murder Hobos.
Yep.
So, quick thing, since we have new people, original box set, we want to do some cool stuff on Fridays, and we have 4 different game options for you to choose from. So go ahead and check out our poll, read the descriptions, and vote for the one that you would prefer to see over on our original box set Twitch channel on Fridays. Anyway, and so
trash, people, things, sips of beer, no wait staff. There's a couple of tables. The room seems lively. There's music.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's a band.
Is it any good?
Yeah, it's not bad. And they're inside of a cage, by the way. They are in a cage.
Cage music.
It's to keep.
Music.
Yeah, people.
I think I was gonna say,
yeah.
I think it's to keep like drunken reprobates from throwing mugs and shit at them.
Yep. It's a. It looks like
Vice versa.
It's a very percussion heavy song, and there's a gentleman at the front of it has some sort of lute that plays very loud, deep noises. It's bigger lute than you've ever seen before, and when he plucks the string, it reverberates. For whatever reason, when it reverberates, several of the patrons, female patrons near the front, seem to be swooning over the entire event.
Ooh.
Oh, he plays the bass.
Those are some strong vibrations.
Exactly. That's my shout out to bass players.
So, I'm going to like push myself off towards the bar. Hopefully, there's a gap I can aim for, and while I'm flying across the room, I'm gonna try and like nudge a couple of abandoned jacks over towards the skinny guy who's desperate for drink.
Okay, you're such a nice person. You arrive at the bar. It doesn't take too long. There's a race in the game that is not a playable race that are called the Da'u. And the Da'u are a average height of a Gathlin, very thin, 4 arms. And the Da'u is currently working the bar behind with other people. He sees you. Their words come from underneath a fold of skin on their face. So you can hear him, but you just don't see his mouth moving that much. What's up, man? What you want to drink?
Oh, anything strong and dwarven.
We've got plenty of that. So he will drift back, grab several mugs, jacks. Fill them, cap them, bring them back over, begin passing them out to other patrons, and he passes one out to you. And immediately extends his palm. Copper.
I'll pay the man.
Paying. People are paying right off the bat. He's taking money. There's no tab. One guy's like, put it on my tab. He says, your tab is with the large man by the door. You know?
And he just cracks his knuckles. They're like, all right.
Oh, and can I get a couple fingers of dark ale?
Fingers of dark ale. Whole fingers. You mean the mugs, the jugs.
Oh yes, there you go.
He rubs his, the side of his nose twice, and then stares at you. Fair enough. Two mugs, two fingers of. You're like, for a moment, you think you just saw some sort of hand signal.
Oh, can I do like a judge intent or something? Let's see. Would it be streetwise?
Yes.
Good, because I don't have that. That's all right. Can I roll even if I don't have anything?
Yeah, if you get a 4 or less, you succeeded awesomely.
Okay, and it's 3, so here we go.
Bam.
I did not. I got 10.
10. You got no idea.
Okay, you just had an itch or something.
It's just got an itch or something. I mean, you can interpret it as a hand signal of some type. You usually know what he means.
Yeah.
So he will come back to you, and you will exchange money with him for what Arthur gave you, so you can here's 2 jugs, and they're pretty sizable brown jugs.
Yeah, I'm gonna loop some of my extra ties on my belt through the finger loops and tie them on there real tight so I don't lose them.
Sure.
And I'm gonna go get cozy in a corner and pack a pipe and scope out the room. All
right. People come and people go. You're not the only one who seems to want to be left alone or just sitting in a corner. On another side of the room, there's of course several. It's just a variety of people. There's a group of sailors that come drifting in, find a crate to cozy up to, get some drinks, have some laughs, put down some food. There's one guy on the far side of the room, in another corner, just like you, smoking a pipe. Human, leathered cloak, jacket, bow and arrow, sitting, bow and quiver nearby him and whatnot. So he definitely looks like he's a traveler of some type. A large amount of people pass in and pass out through here within, 15 minutes or so. We'll say that at least 5 or 6 people get added to the bar, as well as 5 or 6 people leave. During that period of time, It seems very bar-like, and without question of like some, nothing extra. There's like, is this a thieves' den? It doesn't seem like it. It seems pretty normal. You do notice that there is a VIP in the room. The bar is large. The forges are beside you at the bar, behind the bar and stuff like that. But you see on the other side of the room where most likely they kept stock or raw materials, you can see the remnants of a coal bin. And inside this modified coal bin / room, there are a lot of people, like people who come in. Sometimes they don't even pay attention to the bar, like 1 or 2 people. They immediately drift over where the coal bin is. It's modified. There's pillows. There's like cool magical light over there of some type. And your eyes are making contact. There's what looks to be a gentleman, a human,
Yes.
in there who seems to be the center of attention. He's not alone. Home dude's got like some chicks hanging out with him, some burly looking dudes by the door. This guy's got a lot of attention. He's a VIP.
Okay.
Other than the large thuggish brute by the door, everybody else seems, the bartender, those are like the 3 people who stick out.
Okay. So, I'm gonna drink down my my dwarven ale real quick, and polish it off. 15 minutes. That's a long time to drag out an ale. So, I'm gonna shoot back over to the bar and see if I can grab me another.
Sure.
So when they hand me the second one, I'll say, have you ever heard of anyone go by the name of Jonah Sparks come through?
All right, so are you working specifically to speak again the or are you just grabbing a bartender in question?
Yeah, I'd try to go back to the, how do you say the? What's his name? Yeah, I'll go back to the spot where the served me last.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't take him long before he comes back around. Ale, he says.
Aye, please.
All right. He'll grab the mug from you. When he does, he thanks you, like with a nod. Like, wow, this is weird. They brought one back. And he throws it over toward all the other ones, which they all get clustered, and there's like a net on the wall where they're just floating behind it. So he just throws it over there.
Yeah.
And he grabs you a clean one.
Thank you.
And then you remember, oh man, that's where that one came from when I showed up. Get you a mug. He'll come back over. Coppa.
Yep, I'll deposit the copper.
Great. He immediately goes to break off to another customer.
Oh, wait there.
He stops, looks back over you, and then does like this. Again.
Looking for a friend of mine, Jonah Sparks.
He raises eyebrows. You friends with Jonah Sparks? He kind of gives a chuckle. Some people sitting nearby chuckle a little bit. You friend with Jonah Sparks?
In my fashion?
In your fashion. You're friends with him. And he kind of leans past, looks over to the coal bin. That man is more valuable than the silver the copper you're handing to me. You don't look like you belong with him. Tell story to someone else.
I'll tell my story to Jonah Sparks. Thank you. And because he looked up to the coal bin,
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume that's my VIP. And I'm gonna shoot over there.
With your ale in hand.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna have the nipple of the jack in my mouth and just drinking it while I'm flying over there.
Multitasking.
Well, on that note, you are floating your way over to the coal bin, and we are going to take our break.
Break time!
Hey.
Break time! Break time!
10 minutes!
Excellent. Oh, yeah.
Party time.
Ooh, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Woo.
I'm Cassie.
I'm Max. With us we have Paige.
Hello! That's me!
And Jon.
Hello there.
I got it right this time.
Yeah, you did.
Yay!
So we, the two of us formed, with Jon and a couple other people, formed the original box set. And we have a separate Twitch channel. Jon, if you could pop that in for me, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We do a lot of other things on the weekends, and we are looking to fill our Friday slot. Anyone new, welcome. There's a couple different things you can do. First, you're gonna help us. You're gonna help us build this game that we're playing in right now, because we're playing what we call the Alpha Campaign, where we're building a role-playing game system as we play. And you can help us when we're off the air by joining our Discord. Second, if you want to see some cool stuff over on Original Box Set, make sure you hop over there and give us a follow so you know when we're going live. We do stuff on Sundays, we do stuff on Wednesdays, we want to do stuff on Fridays. The Fridays is important because we want to know what you want to see. So go to this straw poll, you're going to check it out, read through all of the options. There's 4 options. There's the Magic Shop, there's Murder Hobos, there's Earth 404, and Dungeon Death World. Death Dungeon. I forget because we had to change the name because Dungeon World's already established.
Yeah.
So, check that out. Go there, vote for the one you want to see, and go over to our Twitch channel, give us a follow, so when we start on Fridays, you'll be able to watch it. Woo!
A lot of stuff.
Lots of stuff. You ready?
I'm ready. Yeah, sorry. Everybody, you got your drinks?
Got your drinks?
Got my drinks.
Bam!
Cheers!
And scene.
The dock that stretches close to 700 yards away from Spindlehaven splits off at least 3 times and has a number of smaller docks coming off of it, as well as houses, establishments, maybe a bait shop or supplies, maybe like a little warehouse thingy. But at this point for Larry, none of that matters. He is barreling out of control. He's lost the ability to right himself. In the void, since there's no gravity but air, he won't spin forever, but the momentum he got from jumping off definitely gave him a decent amount of spin. And so he tumbles for moments, and I'm pretty sure for him it's an exhausting period of time as the world around him, because he's standing still. He doesn't feel the momentum of the spin. All he sees is the world doing donuts, and he's afraid he's going to collide. And as it does so in his mind, what he can see is like a blur. Yeah. But Larry's got a strong stomach. He's going to be okay. Let's check that real quick.
I was gonna say, please check it.
Oh, yeah. I got an 8.
Nice.
He's holding himself firm as he's grasped and he's spinning. And in his point of view, he sees something coming toward him, getting larger in that spiral of doom. And at some point, it's consumed him. Or it's consuming all that he can see. Now, he failed that. He begins to let loose a sonic attack to defend himself against the encroaching thing.
No, I don't know if it's a sonic attack.
It's
Oh, okay, yeah, there we go.
Sonic attack screams.
Got it.
I was gonna say, does he when he pukes, does the puke make little beautiful
It will
little
spiral
swirl?
outward. Yeah.
Oh
Gross.
God.
But the Terran, a large 6-limbed insectoid-like human.
No, it's not a human.
Humanoid.
It's not a humanoid.
Not even near it.
It's an insectoid.
It's an insectoid. It's a 6-limbed insectoid. Grabs a hold of the spiraling chunk of mess and brings it to a stop. Which kind of catapults Larry, but luckily the thing is able to grab him and hold him for a moment. And in its wonder, its childlike mentality, It thinks it's done a wonderful thing. It has saved this thing from spinning. This is debris.
Aw.
It could hit something.
Aw.
So he looks upon Larry and begins brushing it. Larry, on the other hand, seeing this is the moment at which he's going to die at the hands of this massive beast, begins flailing and attacking the Uteran.
Meanwhile, the Uteran, with his antenna, flips them forward and just puts him all around his face. Larry feels one wrapping around his neck,
Trying to strangle
him. And then he hears a voice in his head.
You do it. You're trying to think?
You should not be out here. It's dangerous.
Let me go, you big oaf. I just an accident happened, and I need to right myself.
Detritus is not allowed to be in the docks. I clean it up, so I have to clean you up. And then we need to... So we have to go this way, and then wings, vestigial wings?
Vestigial wings, yes.
Come out and starts, flapping, slowly pushing, pulling Larry back to solid dock.
Turn these
Yeah.
guys down just a little bit.
There we go.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. That's what I got.
All right. And yes, and so Larry has made himself a new friend, and the two of them venture off. Larry has no ability to fight against this large individual, so he will now take Larry off to be cleaned. That's going to happen, and we're going to transfer from that point of view back over to Thomas and Maria.
Great. We're on the way to the Paramore,
Yep.
Parimore.
This sounds like a Harry Potter spell.
Sure. It might, yeah. All right.
So this is Spindlehaven is kind of not made in city quarters so much as stacking instead. So the district where you are going to find the what's his name again?
Alexandros Lariska.
Lariska? Okay. Thank
Alexandros Lariska.
you. So Alexandros
Lariska.
Lariska is in essentially what they describe as the next tier up. So a lot of where a lot of the banks and money lenders tend to be, the money lenders, like the payday loan money lenders, they're on the level where you're at right now because sailors, they just want to get some quick cash and go spend it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Larry's going to make money.
Yep.
It's next to the docks.
Exactly.
You're not going to have the banks next to the docks. You're going to have shops.
Yep. So you move up to the next tier. It's this tier is not gated or anything. It's just literally you just have to pull yourself up via the rope lines that run up and down in Spindlehaven, or you just kind of kick off and float for a while. But most people use the ropes that way they don't have to figure out how to kick off again, and also it keeps them going in the right direction, so you're not drifting off aimlessly like a certain someone.
While we're climbing, can there just be this behind us? And Thomas is like, that's odd.
There is, but what you see is failing with one of the
fizzy bottles.
One of the fizzy bottles that has exploded in the wrong way, and it's sending it sending the failing in a completely different direction than it would have normally. So yes, you definitely see that happening. A defective bottle It
my
happens on
God.
occasion. We try to open it one way, and then instead of that, it like pops open like how when you pop open like a roll of
Yeah.
biscuits.
Yeah. Oh my
And
god.
so yeah, there are still a lot of people in this area, and you find the bank, the Parimore.
No,
It's not a bank,
area.
right?
It's an area,
the
and
area
so
is
they're.
Parimore?
Her and Maria need to go to Thomas and Maria need to go to the area and then find this
Yes.
gentleman.
Okay.
So how do you intend? Because you've never been here, and Maria has no knowledge of this gentleman.
Yeah, I was thinking of that. Could I say that before we leave, I would ask Sethi, because one, I don't want to look like we don't know where we're going, because the last time that happened, we were almost robbed. So
You don't want to get robbed again?
no thanks.
That's the fun part.
Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. All right. So Seth had probably would have given you directions without question. Yeah. Oh, you're not from around here. Cool. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
following from her guidance, you come across the blue stoned building that she was speaking of. It sits near a major crossway, and it's a nice looking house. It's rather spread out in this area. Cages dominate courtyards to keep people from drifting into this individual's courtyard, and there's a gated wall surrounding it with a clacker you find.
Huh, well, let's smack it.
Smack that clacker.
Big house. You expect like a manservant or something to come showing up quickly. It doesn't. Takes a few minutes, and a Phelan comes drifting over to the gate. Older looking Phelan. Definitely looks like he's seen some better years. Drifts over, pulls open the little hatch, looks out. "And I help you?"
Yes, I have a writ for a Alexander Reliska.
Lariska. Come in. He opens the gate, which is just like a trap door in this wall, and you drift in. He'll push it slightly. He'll push it closed behind you. Let's see it.
What's my name? Thomas. Thomas was gonna pull it out, and he pulls it out and he hands it to him.
All right. He will look it over for a moment. "You want this now?"
Yes.
He kind of looks around. "If you wish."
The
Please.
other option would be to have it delivered under like a secure guard.
Begins drifting away. So yeah, you could ask, "Hey, can you get this delivered?" He might charge you something, but otherwise he's like, "You want it now? All right."
I mean, I honestly would have gone with delivering it because that's the safer route.
Yes.
Yeah, that's why he's
which-
like, "Okay."
Yeah, which I didn't know. So Thomas he'll definitely be like, actually, we need it delivered to a ship on the docks type of thing. Blah blah blah.
Delivery?
Yes, indeed.
That costs a bit extra.
That's fine. You can deduct it from the payment.
1 gold piece, and I'll promise it'll arrive. You can pay now, or I'll take it out of the allotment.
Thomas will pay it.
All right. You fish out the gold piece and take it. He, with small, skinny, aged hands, takes the coin, pockets it. "Do you have a delivery time?"
As soon as possible.
"I'll get on it immediately."
Thank you.
He'll smile, drift back over to his door. He just like touches off the ground, grabs a hold of the door, gives a quick tug, and then grabs another push broom to push him off. Being smaller size, he uses a broom to kind of push himself around. This big place is rather empty for an old man. He will open the door and says, "I'll have it to you within 2 hours."
Very well.
Dang, that's fast.
He'll smile. "Thank you."
Thank you.
lets the door shut, pushes the trap door shut behind you, and drifts back off into his building alone. It's just big, empty house, one dude. You don't even know if this guy was Larski, but maybe he'll get taken care of. If not, you guys can come back and kick the door in and beat up a Phelan.
Yeah.
I'm sure Larry can handle that, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so Thomas looks at Maria and does this motion with his arms, just like, now what? type of thing.
Now we go, and she looks up. Now we're going up. This is why we put on nice clothes.
Right. I honestly forgot we had the rest of it to sell.
Yes. So, she looks what? You gave a size, so she looks back. What's
Yeah.
wrong?
No, I'm done with this noble business. I just want to get this done.
It just got worse because we're about to go to where the nobles are.
Yeah, I know. It's kind of the reason I don't want to go there, alright?
And they've got nice streets, water fountains, stuff like that. I hear they actually have gravity up there. You have places you can walk around without grindstone boots. Magical gravity. That's what I've been told. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I bet they have snobs too.
She rolls her eyes. Well, when you get that rich, you can be.
Oh, believe me, I know. Let's just get this done and I'll buy you a drink or something.
She said, oh, free drinks. I won't turn that down. She kicks off the ground. You'd kick off the ground, catch up to her. She says, just drinks. She laughs. It's my luck. It's just my luck. Mom, you were right, she yells out kind of loud.
Well, I do know one person who needs to settle down with his craziness. Well, I know two people, and I consider them very attractive.
She rolls over and says, don't say Larry.
God, no.
Don't say
That man's worse than the barnacles that he's scraping currently. No. The two that I could think of would be Bassianus and Kodrog.
She will stop, and you can see she thinks on it for a moment. I haven't ever actually had a chance to talk to Bassianus. He always seems so busy with himself.
Yeah, he does that.
Kodrog,
No,
on the
if
other
you,
hand, he's a nice guy. I like it. Yeah, she doesn't think. She won't say nice guy. Fuck that. No, she'll say, Kodrog, on the other hand, I like a man that rough. He's been pretty good to me so far.
Oh, man.
Wait a minute. Thomas will kind of pause and go, am I just assuming, or did you actually have a relationship with Kodrog at one point?
No, I've never married him.
A relation... Have you spent the night with him?
Oh, that, yes.
Great, okay. And then you decided to ask me out just in case.
Well, my mom always told me that life with someone of another race is difficult. Some of them live so long you're nothing more than a shelf toy, and some live so short that they're nothing more than a house pet to you. She shrugs. Mom always told me to try to stay close to my own kind. Not saying she's right, not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying that when I grow old, I'd like to know the one I'm with is also growing old.
Yeah, I get that.
You don't grow old, though, do you? Mages don't. Spellcasters and finger wigglers, you guys live forever, don't you?
Is that the rumors?
They also have other rumors, too. I was trying to dispel one, but I won't be able to know until I find a mage who's interested.
I'll tell you one thing. There's a lot of spells that can be used in that scenario.
Oh, she kind of... Her eyes kind of get really kind of a slight wide, kind of look. Really?
Well, I mean, if you get creative enough, yeah.
Whew.
There's this one spell that I read.
Whoa! She stops. I'm not into those books that you read.
No. It's there's a spell out there that I know of. I just haven't been able to perform it yet, but I'm working on it. But basically, what it does is it provides. He kind of looks at her and realizes that he's talking to a mundane, and he goes, It's like if you surround yourself with mirrors, and there's you can see yourself in the mirror. It's like that, but they're actually physical and they're there and they can distract an enemy and everything. You can cast up to like 5 apparitions.
So you have sex
with
with yourself?
No. Oh God, you're not thinking creatively. You're not.
She just stares at you. She's like, I don't understand magic.
I thought maybe it was just me, but like I thought that a common fantasy of the feminine wiles was having multiple men, but that's just what I know.
She laughs. She's like, that's way too much work. That's way too much work.
Well, that's you don't do the work. They do the. Okay. You know what? All right. Okay.
She laughs. Oh, the colors are changing. That's magical.
I'll introduce you to Bassianus. The thing is, if you want someone of your race, you're just going to be searching forever. If you see the person in front of you, say someone who you've already spent the night with, Kodrog, then you actually focus on them. Don't wait. Life's too short for that shit.
She'll smile. Okay. Introduce me to Bassianus, and if it works out, then maybe it works out. Otherwise, I'll take your advice and see if Kodrog wants a second night.
Great. Okay. One advice, though? You're not an object, right? Don't pour yourself out for nights. Not even if you can't find the right guy.
She's like, well, that's grand. Is that something you mages think about?
No, it's what I think about. A lot of mages are actually very sexually active because, well, power.
I can only imagine that mages get whatever they want. Just as much as noblemen and knights.
Pretty much.
I was born too much of a commoner. I was destined for bigger things. It's just, life doesn't give me these options. She looks back the direction you guys are going and says, oh, we're coming up. And she points to a very large grouping of people. She says, all right, we got to push off those rocks and get over there. And then we got to just cluster around the back end of all those people queued up. And
Great.
So you guys do. And you move out the direction. She's like, I appreciate your talk. It feels good. I don't know how else to say it. These things just don't make sense to me, but I appreciate you. It's like talking to my sister, almost.
Thomas just kind of goes, I could see that. Just kind of sighs a bit.
Do you have anything else? I'm going to start to my description.
The only thing that he would say is that life isn't fair. We just have to get used to it.
You two drift over to this queue of people, and it's a long queue.
Great.
And you see the queue of people are all kind of milled up along a bunch of makeshift, and we're just going to call it a tiny void dock. So it's basically a pole that people are hanging out with and pulling themselves along. And it goes into a large opening that seems to go into, I'm just going to describe it as a utopia beyond the gate entrance. You see plants. You see lights. It seems musical and magical on the other side. It really does.
Las Vegas!
Like Disney World or Las Vegas. Okay, we'll go with that.
You said lights, and that's what I thought of.
Las Vegas is a little bit more hookery than I was thinking. That's why I said Disney.
I've never been to Disney World or Las Vegas, so...
Okay, you as an individual should fix that, because both places are pretty amazing.
Actually, Las Vegas is the only place in Nevada that's not hookery, I think.
It is the only place, and that's another story.
Sorry.
Another conversation. All right.
Oh, well, you know what? Then we're gonna go with Disney because they keep their shit.
One day when I'm rich and people buy my art, plug, I will go to Disney World.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. That was a good plug.
Buy her art so she can go to Disney World.
Buy her art so she can go to Disney.
Please. Yeah.
This line
I've
of
never
people accumulates, and people like behind you. You see somebody kind of like float up, and they're like floating past you, and Maria is like, and then the guy kind of like floats back a little bit, like look like he was trying to cut and stuff like that. This is a pretty lethal game of a lot of eyeballing as people are getting in this queue to pass through. At the opening, there is a contingency of men in armor. The armor is shiny enough that this end of the line of some 20-something people, you can see them nicely. So there's armored dudes up there kind of drifting around and stuff.
And they aren't the armored dudes that were like, showing off in front of the Republic's temple. These guys look like they are armed to the nines. Instead of dressed in they are armed. And they are stopping every single person before they are allowed inside. And you see some people are actually turned away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shushu,
wow.
and they begin drifting off. And you don't know exactly what the whole ordeal is. But you guys are in queue. You're waiting. Time's passing. The line's moving. It's not slow, but it is kind of slow. You'd expect this is like trying to check out at the self-checkout at Walmart.
Yeah, I have an idea. I just don't want to fuck it up, because if I fuck it up, then we're screwed.
What is it?
I'd like to put on my hat and actually show that I'm, nobility and a mage, and maybe I can get in easier and, faster.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You put on the hat.
I would grab it, but it's over there.
Do you want to take a moment so you can get dressed?
Yeah.
Right, this is cool. I like this.
I'm excited.
Yeah. Bam.
Awesome.
Thomas is putting on the hat.
Yes!
It's real now.
I gotta get a new wizard hat.
Maria is busy. She's looking at the front of the line, the back of the line. She's not paying. And she turns around and sees what you're doing. What are you doing?
Thomas, pulls this hat out of his, satchel, and he just goes, when we were talking about how, mages and nobles get what they like? Well, I want to get to the front of the line as fast as possible.
She'll smile. She's like, oh, yeah. And she'll nudge you out. She reaches the post and she pushes you just a little bit so you're near the edge.
Yeah.
You're just near the edge. And they're the guards. You can now look up as people are drifting in and being pulled in and stuff like that. The guards. One of them stops, smacks his buddy, and then you can see his finger points towards you. His buddy looks at him. There's a quick converse. Maria's turned to you. She's like, this is great thinking. I like this. This is good. And so as you're standing there, let's see. Make an awareness roll.
Sure.
Because now people in the line around you are staring at you like, thinking, damn it, if I had just brought my pointed hat too, I might have put somebody's attention. That's all I need to do.
I mean, yeah. Where
Awareness.
is my awareness? I just dropped a dice. Shit. Do I have any other? Oh, I do. Okay. I have one near me. Awareness. Is that in my skills?
Yes.
Is that a skill? Is this? This is not alphabetical.
No. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'm either blind or I'm not looking right. I honestly could be right on it. Hold on, I need to full screen this. Oh god, that's bright.
So it's in the second column of them. It's the third one down
under
art. Yep.
That helped. Da 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 da. Ooh, 8 out of 11.
Right. 8 out of 11, that's good. So you're hanging out. You notice some commotion in people's faces ahead of you. They're looking at something behind you guys. or off to one side. And so you look at those guys, and like they seem to be noticing something. You look over. Maria hasn't noticed this. She's so eager because that guard is now slowly coming in this direction towards you guys. But as you look over, you see a person. Looks like they've reached a very high speed and they're heading for the gate. As you watch this, people are like, oh my goodness. And it's not a kid, no joke. A guy has several of those fizzy bottles and he's pulled all the corks at one time. And he's shooting for the gate at high speeds.
Great.
But you are not the only one who notices.
Yeah. The guards, they notice. And they take out crossbows.
Then they yell. They yell loudly. More than one time.
Yes. Halt! Turn back! Cease and desist!
Drawing back the
We will
string.
fire! Okay.
No. No.
The gentleman with the 4 bottles begins to make evasive maneuvers as he's trying to negotiate around the situation. The guards, on the other hand, have placed themselves in a position to where they're just kind of floating, aiming carefully at him as he begins drawing in. Do you want to intervene?
Yeah, I do. Trying to think of a spell that I could come up with on the spot, and the only one that I can think of, is to either cut off those bottles, which that would be a spell that I already have, or conjure some sort of stone to tie it to him to slow him down.
That won't slow him down. You know that you have to hit him with a force that's going to push him off to one side.
Yeah.
You have to move him in a different direction, like a force that pushes him backwards, or a force that pushes him into a wall that causes him to come to a stop.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll use all the wind spells that I've used for sailing.
Okay. Now, if you reread the description, the new one is the harder you blow, the harder the wind blows. So, a gentle breeze. You want some gust.
I know.
But as you begin to expel harder, you start burning through your hit points, and it gets gale force like winds. Definitely, I will make sure if you get when we talk this week, you can take a look over that one. It can get pretty brutal as you put more mana and more hit points into it. So, you're gonna make a spellcrafting roll. This is a druidic spell.
Good thing I kind of know those.
You do. You have 2 casting forms, Arcana and Druidic.
Where? Now I gotta look for spellcraft.
Should be on the column on the right, near midway.
You said the column on the right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Maybe John can help us find it. Spellcraft, John. Where is it at?
I've got spell casting.
Spellcasting.
I found it. Yeah. You said Druidic. Okay. Where'd my dice go? Where'd he go? Oh god! Hold on, I have another dice. I keep dropping my dice.
You need a dice bowl. Like
I know. I don't have one. I got 3 out of 7.
You rolled a 3?
Yeah, I got all 1s.
Holy crap. So
wow.
Listen, right off the bat, if you spend any mana during a critical success like this, it doesn't cost any mana. So this spell is 100% free no matter how powerful you make it.
Sweet. Cool.
So yeah, just give a description of how this works out.
Yeah, so you said I actually have to blow like blowing
like
with
blow
my
a kiss.
mouth.
You now like you could do a gale force wind by blowing a kiss.
Or you could also do like a big poof, like a, like something like that just like has a lot of energy behind it.
Yeah, so I mean, all right, if it's me, I'm blowing a kiss. So if anyone has played Destiny with me, that's my number 1 emote. So Thomas will see the guards and kind of get a little worried, and then he'll blow a kiss to this guy, give a little wink, and this like huge like ball of air moves towards him and just hits him and starts pushing him back.
Hits him right in
And-
the cheek.
Yeah, right. Just yeah, and I would like him to be arrested. So I would like the air to like push him to a point where the guards can actually just grab him,
Alright.
not harm him.
So your hand gestures, your motions, and your kissing blow toward him hits, entwines his body, spins him a couple of times. The bottles fizz out, and as he's trying to recuperate, he's now like stuck in one spot. They don't fire.
Right.
They see that this moment, and you hear at this point in time someone yell out, "The mage! The mage stopped him! Get him!" And so they
Get him! And then Thomas is just like, oh!
They rush over and they grab a hold of the guy, and they pull him off to one side. Those guards leave. But the guard who was noticing you immediately makes an effort to start grabbing the people and pushing them. So he pushes off, and he drifts closer. And as he does so, he comes to a slow stop, and he goes, "Greetings, mage. Thank you for that."
Of course.
What was Thomas's family's house name?
Baron.
Baron.
Baron. Huh. I got a 6.
Ooh, that's good.
The guard says, "House Baron, welcome. Welcome to Spindlehaven. I apologize about your wait. Please." And he pulls out a little piece of stamped paper and says, "Here, take this. Come with me." And he hands
Thomas
it to you.
will put an arm around Maria and bring her with him,
All
obviously.
right. So,
They're not going to say no to a mage. That helped them
Yeah.
out.
But, I mean, if news travels to his home, and if they're like, "Oh, I saw your son at the place that I can."
Spindlehaven.
Yeah, Spindlehaven. He was with some girl. His dad would be like, "Oh, I'm so proud." So, so you know.
the passage through the gate is fast. These guys are like, "Oh man, that was," this is exaggerating. They're like, "Oh man, you cast the spell. It was so amazing. We rarely see magic
Yeah,
around here."
any complaints about you cutting the line are quickly quelled when they see your hat.
Yeah. Hey, they can't. Oh, they can't. Never mind. Because a nobleman cutting line, it's like, oh. But a wizard
Yeah.
cutting the line is like, I don't want to be a
Can't
frog.
say anything about it.
I
Yeah.
don't want to be a frog. Fuck that. So, you get through the gate quickly. You are brought into the streets. They give you guys basically little pieces of paper that represent, hey, we got through the gate, we're all good, and all our stuff. You explain to what you're here for.
Yep.
Bam, it's all legit. You, on the other hand, have like this silver stamped piece of paper that says, I'm nobility, and the gate guard recognized it, pretty much.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's like your little badge of, I'm somebody. Don't fuck with me. This means I'm somebody. I've got family.
FBI.
Yeah. So,
Don't fuck with me. See the hat?
Maria, as you guys get in, will be excited. She's like, that was fast and kind of fun.
Yeah.
We should do stuff like that more often. You know, getting in the lines, getting through lines faster.
It is nice. Yes.
All right. Maria and you zip. You begin transferring and moving through the streets. She knows where she's going at this point in time. And as you get deeper into the city, they have gravity up here. At some point, you're
good.
pulled to the ground.
So my
Doors-
jacket's like 10 times heavy, and my hat's like.
Yeah, you notice that there's not only gravity, there seems to be like atmosphere. Almost like how you would have in an aisle. The cold of like the void that you feel in Spindlehaven, even though you're inside, kind of the chill is gone. And you see that there are, what Maria was saying was true. There is a fountain. There's a park. They have like nice lush plant life.
Kids playing in the street with their dogs.
Mm-hmm. Kids. You didn't see any kids down below.
Yeah. Does Thomas know how they do the atmosphere? Or is it magic?
It's gotta be magic. What other answer do you have? I mean,
I don't know.
yeah, exactly.
I'm not a dwarf, so I can't be like, oh, this is dwarven
Yeah.
crafting.
The people in the
Thomas'
streets
answer to everything is magic!
Everything is magic!
Everything is magic.
Walking through the streets, people are finely dressed. Men and women alike. Children also play in some fineries as well. Young ladies walk up and down the streets wearing gowns or dresses with parasails behind them. It's a freaking beautiful. Like a
Parasails or parasols?
parasails. Parasols.
Oh, these kids are rich!
Jet skis.
Oh, they're the frat boy families. Okay.
Well, technically, yeah. Actually, they probably would be.
Yeah.
And Maria will guide you. Where are we headed again? She knows where we're going.
To the perfumery.
Ah,
The effervescent.
thanks for the name there, Oz.
And scent is spelled like, S-C-N-T. It's a pune. A play on words. It's Godfather.
Mm-hmm. When you getting there is quick. There are signs, as well as friendly individuals who, once they see your hat. By the way, stopping conversations becomes difficult. You walk to a street corner, someone's like, "Oh, you're a spellcaster. Could you come help me with the problem? I have a quest." Taking this off. So people will acknowledge you with a wave or a smile or a bow or a curtsy, a handshake. "Nice to meet you, good sir." This is, to Maria, like, wow.
Heaven.
She is
He's hanging out
just,
with a rock star.
wow. This is what you were used to when you'd go visit your family in Marseille. You went out to the countryside where there were less nobles and there were the farmhouses, because your family owns farmhouses, plural. And so you're used to this from certain people, and so you're seeing it again, and you're just like, oh man. So I don't know how Thomas is taking that, but that's the experience that you have all the way up to the effervescent.
Yeah, he's being polite. He's playing up to his character. He knows the basics. He's done this before. And it brings a little memory back from when they went to the countryside, and all he would think of is like, oh yeah, we owned farmhouses. And then instead of thinking of all like the courtships and shit that they had to go through, he just goes, yeah, that farm boy. And like that's all he remembers.
Farm boy.
But he does remember all the nobility and courtesies and all that fun stuff. So he's being Thomas Baron. Very
Master Thomas Baron.
Master Thomas
Yeah.
Baron. The effervescent.
he's owning it, but
Yeah, okay. The effervescent is a beautiful structure. It's spread out behind a wall for some part of it. Steps leading up to the front door made of wood, glass, some panels, artwork outside of statues. It looks like a really nice place. The smells coming from it are,
It's like a
perfumery. Gosh, it's got to be nice.
yeah.
But it's just
It's like an amalgam of every nice fragrance you've ever smelled.
No,
Sometimes one smell will be a little stronger than the other, but yeah, it's a very interesting bouquet.
As you and Maria have arrived, she looks the place up and down. She's like, "Great, now we can get rid of the rest of this stuff." And so you guys walk up in. Not like entering a Bed Bath and Beyond where you get assaulted by a powerful smell. The odors, are
it's not like they are, because in a lot of places, and especially like cheaper perfumeries, They are intentionally spraying smells around. They are intentionally trying to like waft people in. You know, like your Bath and Body Works, your Abercrombie and Fitch. You know, like that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this like Abercrombie and Finch? Like I just open the door and I go, and I just die.
It's a soft permeating smell of just this is where perfumes are made versus hey, smell all this shit.
Great, thank you. That's a good, pleasant smell then. If anyone has been in Abercrombie and Finch or fucking Macy's, anyone knows.
Nobody's
or
spraying
like
perfumes at you when you walk in.
I was gonna say, or that episode from SpongeBob where they have to go through the perfume aisle. Yep.
I got ideas for Chico. Okay, you're gonna do it? Okay.
That was a good episode.
Huh?
I missed that
Let's
show.
click that real quick.
Oh, click this, but the
Okay,
stream
never mind.
the stream is still hear us.
Uh-oh. They've gone mute.
I'm dead.
I
I'm
just
dead.
thought about that.
Yeah.
Put it in
I'm mute,
anywhere.
I'm dead.
Go undo it.
Max rolled PK.
Put it anywhere you want.
Yeah.
Just I think that's a good play.
Yeah.
All right, keep going.
Alright, give me 1 second. Getting my stuff back in order. Okay. Woo!
I'm getting to the bottom of my wine and it's not good.
Time to switch over something stronger like dark rum.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
have it. Badly.
As you
And
walk
besides,
in, oh, go
I'm
ahead.
playing Thomas. I'm playing Thomas.
Yeah,
he
that's
drinks
right.
wine.
Drinks wine. He's very
You
good.
silly, silly peasant.
Wow.
The hat's on. I'm sassy.
Let's sass it up with some perfumers.
Mm.
You walk into the shop, essentially, is what you all of the different there's these beautiful crystal like vials that are set up in different places where that have little atomized spritzers. Some of them are just straight up you would pull them out and then just do dabs, but for the most part spritzers seem to be a little more popular because you can control how much comes out of the bottle. And there's probably about 10 different ones that you're seeing. There's a couple of there's a couple of humans in here that look like they are shopping. There is a takeout in here, also looks like they're shopping. They look up at you and they look up at you again.
One nearby gives a slight curtsy. Master?
And then as you're acclimating yourself to the fragrances that that just permeate this place, you hear a very loud footsteps.
Metal on wood
footsteps, and you see a seconder.
So, I've mentioned this in the past, I'll re-mention it again, but it's important for the purpose of our audience to know what a seconder is. It's a term that refers to a race of magically constructed mechanical men that were designed by a rebel force of Marseille who took over and overthrew the previous ruling council. And it's a really long story, but seconders fought for their own freedom against the Marseillan rulership. This is a long story, that's the best way to describe it. They are not machines, and they are not magical. They gain through a wish spell, and this is not uncommon knowledge, through a magical wish they were brought to life, like Pinocchio, so you can't dispel them. Like shield guardians, they're kind of made of stone, wood, metal. They have faces, they can show expression. They generally are no longer wearing their armor from their days in the war, and
they do wear metal plating, though.
They do wear decorative metal plating.
Yes.
They don't wear clothes.
They do not wear clothes.
That's disgusting to them. They have their own religion. Anyways, seconders.
I have a question, though.
Yes.
To the Marseillans, was this because you said that they fought for their freedom?
Mhm.
Who won at the end, or is this war still going on?
Oh no, the Seconders won.
So
They actually won with the help of the Druids, because the Druids had also made their own sentient
race of
living wood
living
warriors.
wooden. So there was an older group of mages. It was a magocracy, as ruled Marseille, and they had some really up ideas, and they did what they wanted to and lived happily ever after. And then a group of younger mages came around saying, this of course is your parents' age.
Yeah, your parents' generation.
Your parents' generation came around and said, we want change because we are being oppressed. We have just as much say as you do. And the older mages were like, no, you don't. I've got fireballs for days. Some point in time, we'll get to the names and the details of it, but a group of mages got a hold of Ring of Three Wishes. They used one. They wished for an army. The Seconders are here.
Okay. So this is okay. So Thomas knows this history very well.
Very well.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad you said that aloud because I
No, that's fine. This is a learning experience. Lore is a big part of this game.
yeah.
So, yeah,
You
we're gonna
see the Seconder approaching with a box, and that's where we cut scene back to Kodrog.
Oh.
What a twist.
Kodrog,
Mm-hmm.
you approach the what is it called?
coal bin.
You approach the coal bin. I think you're the one who's describing these ones.
All right. Oh yeah, I am. Moving closer to the coal bin. It's an old dark wood-colored, probably age, dust, stuff like that, splintered. Everything on the inside looks really nice, well taken care of. A large human moves himself to the doorway so you can make eye contact with him. He's wearing a chain hauberk and has a long sword on his hip. So as you get closer, he just gives you a nod, like, amongst the other people who are hanging about at the opening to this coal bin, he sees that you're a newcomer. Are you wearing your armor?
It's under my outer clothes.
Okay. He'll give you a nod as you get closer and hold out his hand to tell you to stop.
Okay. What are my braking options? Other than just like sillily flapping my arms.
For the most part, you're probably, since you like springed off across the room, unless you like pushed so ridiculously hard, there's no stopping you. You're just gonna slam into something. But most likely you've been like skipping
Okay, yeah.
across the room because you got to kind of control yourself. I mean, you don't have to, but a broken neck is a broken neck.
Okay, I will stop at a respectful distance. Like
Mm-hmm.
a couple of feet.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oisa,
No.
who are you? What you want?
I am Kodrog Stromhessen, Wormsmith of Ironwood Home, and I would like to see Jonah Sparks.
So a lot of people want to see Mr. Sparks. What's your business?
Well, my business is between myself and Mr. Sparks.
Then I'm pretty sure he's not going to have the chance to see you unless you have some sort of permission or something that you can show me with of him. You get my meaning?
I reach in to my pouch
He
for
puts his hand
some-
on his longsword.
Oh, and I withdraw a silver coin?
What's this for? You buying me a drink? We going to get married? I don't think so. You're not brawling your
yes.
way into Mr. Sparks' office. Mr. Sparks only meets with clients that he's intended to meet with. Everyone else can pack it on in and get out of here.
Mr. Sparks is expecting an official representative of the Marines of Ironwood Home. I am that official representative. Would you please inform him that we do have business?
Do you have some sort of documentation or some sort of sigil to produce that would say the likes of this so I can show Mr. Sparks?
So I'm gonna just like pull out a scroll of parchment that's probably blank out of my pocket.
Okay.
Any documentation that I have is too official for your eyes. I will not be handing it over to anyone except for Mr. Jonah Sparks.
All right. Intimidation.
I feel like that's more of a bluff.
I'm calling intimidation.
I don't know. Let's see which one I've got a better score in.
I mean, if it was a bluff, he would have handed him the blank document.
Yeah.
This is definitely...
I guess, but it's still saying, like, I'm not drinking wine. Like...
Okay, let's see. Bluff. Yeah, if it could be bluff, that would be helpful.
All right, let's do bluff.
Also, I'm all
You're
out
just
of
being
wine.
an asshole, bluffing.
Yeah, because I'm like way more important than this guy. So why would I show him any of my important
Even
stuff?
though this guy is the gatekeeper to Jonah Sparks, he's not important.
No.
So, I got a 12. I was trying to beat a 10.
Okay. He will snatch towards your piece of paper.
Oh
A
man.
9. That'll pass. Do you want to try to keep it away from him?
Yeah.
All right, make a melee.
A melee. There it is. Okay. Ooh, that's 6, 7, 8 against a 14.
Ouch. Yeah. All right, you're able to keep it away from him. He'll growl a bit. All right. Now you're just trying my patience. He will reach behind him into the open coal bin box, pull out a crossbow, and he's just immediately preps it, just like, give me the goddamn piece of paper. And at this point in time, you hear a voice from the inside that says, what's going on?
Yeah. What's the guy's name?
Beryl.
Yeah. Beryl! I didn't think we were going to have bloodshed today.
Right, sir. This guy's being a jerk. Says he's from some dwarf rot hole. Supposed to see you. Won't give me any information. Says he just wants to know. I know how to deal with him. Mind yourself, sir, and your ladies. I'll take care of this squatter.
Oh, and your lady.
So it's just like is it like a curtain doorway?
No,
that's
it's like
really-
chainmail. It's like hanging chainmail.
Oh man,
it's like
okay.
70s.
That wasn't even everything. But yeah, that's cool too.
Like,
So I want to try and like duck past him.
Sure. He is
Through
not
the
the
chain.
other. He is not the only other large burly individual in there. Just to let you know. So
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We'll do a reaction check. He's going on a 9.
Oh, 2d6.
You get 2d6.
Is it the higher one?
Oh man, I'm going on an 8.
Oh, you got an 8? All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you attempt to go duck underneath him, but he immediately tries to grab a hold of you as you're moving into the coal box.
I mean, I don't know if he'd grab him more. It's just like block and push it.
Yeah, he's trying to block and push you back. Like, nope. So his action, which goes before yours, is just to kind of slide in your way.
You'd best
Okay.
be showing him some kind of documentation.
you have that letter.
I know.
You could just show him the signature.
Okay, so he
Because Jonas Sparks also pulls out his crossbow at this point.
It's tiny. It's an adorable crossbow
It's
with
very
little
cute.
filigree.
It's very cute.
Yeah. Okay, so
It'll still poke you real good though.
I'm gonna try and meld my my duck to the side into a drawing out the actual letter and handing it to the to Beryl. I'm like, here you are, sir.
All right, he'll since it's up in his, you're already up in his business. He's gonna grab it. He's gonna pull it up, look at it, and be like, yeah. The other guy, the other big oaf who just now got up, he's about a little bit larger than Beryl, but he doesn't have like a crossbow or anything. He just has a really big stick. Baseball bats. and bludgeoning objects do really good with no gravity. Really
Yeah.
doesn't. Yeah, it's just beat the crap out of somebody. Barrel reads over and goes, "It's legit, Mr. Sparks. My apologies, good sir. Do not take my mannerisms too harshly. Just trying to do my job." And he'll smile, a toothy grin filled with gold teeth and some rotten ones.
And an excellent job you've done.
He'll brush you off. Yeah, much better.
Like straighten out your coat a little bit, you know, and then just like, good man.
Mr. Sparks.
Mr. Sparks dismisses his beautiful ladies, a kiss on each one, and then sends them on their way. Jonah Sparks is, for all intents and purposes, a large man. He's big, but then like a stocky big, and he's got a little bit of a belly, because, you know, why not?
Of course.
He has very short cropped hair, clean shaven, and looks to be possibly in his early 40s, late 30s. And he waves at you to enter as his companions are making their exit.
Okay. So yeah, as I approach, I will say, "Forgive me, Master Sparks, for intruding on your private time."
Master Sparks, come in, boy.
Just like you're treating you like you're some sort of mage.
Welcome to my establishment. I hope that you've been taken well care of, sir.
Oh, I absolutely have, and I have an appointment afterwards to make sure I have no wants when I leave.
Excellent. You won't find any better women in the entirety of the Spindle.
Surely.
Mr. Sparks, would you like a refill on your drink?
Yes, thank you. Would you like a drink, sir? I'm sorry, what was your name?
Kodrog Stormhessen.
Mr. Stormherson, would you like a drink, please?
Yes, friend.
He'll dip out.
So, I've cleared my schedule. It's not often that I have this dwarven gentleman like you bearing a letter. It must be important.
Oh, it's not often I have...
Yeah, go
Sorry.
ahead. No, you go
Oh,
first.
it's not often I have the pleasure of working officially on the behalf of my iron home.
Ah. And he holds out his hand. He's like,
Is he for the letter?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, good. Because this is getting expensive. I can't give any more
kiss
money.
it, like
Yeah.
no, he holds it out. He doesn't like it. So he holds his hand out. He's waiting for it. Because you still have it in your hand, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I mean, assuming Beryl gave it back to me.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. So I'll hand over the letter.
So he takes the letter, he unfolds it, and holds it, like kind of in front of him, enough where he can read it and also keep an eye on you, as he's going through it. Oh yes. Oh. Excellent. I was wondering when a representative of Ironwood Home would be able to make it out this way.
Yes, I have to say the delay is regrettable. We would have made it much sooner if we could.
It's quite alright. Information has an incredible shelf life.
It does, but there's always limitations. People move.
And people keep track of that.
Good sources do.
Well, your Iron Home paid for the best, so. And he gives a nice like smiling grin, like not a grin, not like a, but more like a.
A knowing smile.
So I take it you have good news for me.
I have good news. But I still need to get paid.
Of course. Now, out of character, do I have any idea about what arrangement has already been made?
They paid for him to do some legwork, but not paid for the information.
Okay.
And he sent a letter the moment he found out what he needed to know, and so you've arrived to get that information from him. They said, of course, in some communication with you, just save up your earnings from working on the Amber Falls to be able to pay for this.
Good thing you got paid.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what? How much did I get?
You got,
Two salaries.
2 salaries.
Isn't my salary just like a few copper though?
No, not on this. No. Gosh.
Plus,
Okay.
you got a bonus from the princess,
Yeah.
I think.
And you also got the reward from the princess Violet for rescuing her. So
Right,
you've got a good. You have like between all of that, I think you have and between all of that and what Arthur gave you,
Yeah.
like what 8.
I'm assuming 8 to 10
8 to
gold
10,
pieces.
Yeah, 8 to 10 gold.
In silver and copper,
Mhm.
and maybe a few gold coins.
Yeah.
We'll set the number at 8.
Okay.
No, we'll
yeah.
set it
Like,
at 10. We'll set it at 10.
Yeah.
okay, but
So
like
this-
not including what Arthur gave me because that's his money.
Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't be dishonorable enough to spend it.
How much did you spend on that snake oil?
A silver piece, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was a whole silver piece.
Yeah, excellent. That's what I thought too. I just wanted to double check.
Yeah, so I'm down 2 silver pieces so far this trip.
And a few copper.
Oh, and 2 copper. Yep.
Because this place is expensive with drinks.
Okay.
Well,
So I will
coming to the best establishment. I mean, it's dwarven made.
Yup.
They left a few of their recipes behind. That dwarven ale, you know it.
It was pretty
yeah.
close to the stuff from home.
So I'm going to pull out. Oh gosh, wait. So it's 10 silver is a gold, right?
Yes.
Oh, I'll just set one of my money pouches on the table and like finger out like 4 silver and put them in a stack.
4 silver will buy you a sentence.
Sorry, I missed that last word.
4 silver will buy you a sentence.
Oh.
Well, that sentence could earn you more.
I don't think you know how it works here. You want information, I find information, you pay me for information.
I'm getting Shadowrun flashbacks.
Forgive me, Master Sparks. It was not my intention to insult you. If you wouldn't mind, what price would you take?
Do you want the price for the information, or do you want the price for the information and discretion and forgetfulness?
The big guy goes. Not Barrel, but the big idiot with the stick.
Yeah. Well, now that we have some negotiating room, I would like the price for the information and the discretion. Because I would hate for you to forget us and our generosity.
Oh no, that would be me forgetting that this ever happened.
Well, I
Not
would
forgetting
hope
good customers.
that your discretion would be enough.
There may be somebody who comes after you asking if there was a dwarf looking for more information. I wouldn't tell them the information if you bought discretion. But forgetfulness, that's a little extra.
Is there so There's no. Are there like grindstones? Like, are we sitting? What's the?
Yeah.
Sitting.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like all the like as soon as you came in, like it's pretty weighty. There's grindstone, like the floor is grindstone. There's grindstone under the seats. There's grindstone on the table. This is a very like a nice little spot of artificial gravity.
Yeah.
It's so gravitous that he's not having a cover on his jack.
Okay. So Kodrog does not like negotiations. He's not trained particularly well in negotiations.
That's why you
just
buddied
has
up
like
with Thomas.
like he just has like this, I'm a dwarf. Well, let's negotiate. But right now he's out of his element. He's frustrated. He's got one boot tapping on the floor. He's starting to grit his teeth a little bit.
Relax, Mr. Stromson. Sorry, I can't remember how you pronounce your name. That's me, not him.
Stromson.
Stromson. Relax, Mr. Stromson. I know that your iron home is good for the information. This is a technicality. And then, drinks show up. He thanks if you get your dwarven ale plus what looks to be a smaller glass of it's almost like violet colored, deep violet colored liquid.
Oh, blackberry. Blackberry rum.
So I will lift the glass, the small glass that just came,
and it's a glass.
Yeah, that's fancy.
Yeah.
They don't give us glasses.
No.
And I'll inspect the glass.
It was a glass with a cover, and then as he sets it on the table, the cover is removed. The liquid stays inside of the glass.
So fancy.
Yes.
And I'll swirl the liquid in the glass, and I'll set it back down. And I'll look at Jonah Sparks. Master Sparks, if your information leads us to catching the ones that perpetrated the atrocity against our iron home, we will pay you for your forgetfulness, your discretion, your information, your professionalism, and your generosity.
Of course. I do believe you'll be quite happy with what I found. It will cost you 6 gold pieces.
Will you take it in silver and copper?
Of course.
So I'll
All coin is good coin, sir.
So I'll start making counting out stacks. Some silver here, copper here, little bunches of stacks that make whole gold coins until there's 6 gold coins worth of coins stacked on his desk.
What was the other guy's name?
The idiot?
Grog or something?
Yeah, Grog or Barrel.
Barrel. So, but Barrel's watching the door.
Yeah, Barrel's looking around at people.
And then Grog is the one that's inside with him. Grog, can you take care of this for us?
Yes, sir.
Pointing at the coins on the table.
He reaches under the table, pulls up a leather pouch himself, and with a large meaty hand, hits the table, rakes the coins into the bag in one fell swoop. Yes, sir.
Grog, why don't you go get yourself a drink?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And he rides the bag up and shoves it into his crotch and stands up, walks out with his stick.
Oh, man.
Beryl will lean back and be like, "Sir, if you could excuse me for a minute. There's a table across the room that's looking over here way too much for my comfort."
Yes, please take care of it.
"Not a problem, sir." He grabs a crossbow and a flail from behind the door and then pushes off into the bar.
A crossbow and a flail.
I'm sorry, not a crossbow and a flail. A crossbow and a hatchet.
Okay, I was gonna say he starts whipping out this flail. I mean, you would intimidate me.
So basically, everybody's gone now, but you and Mr. Sparks. You're alone, and gives Mr. Sparks a chance too.
I appreciate your promptness in payment. You'd be surprised how many dwarves decide to try to haggle me out of a cheaper price.
It's in our blood.
I understand. It's just refreshing. And he takes a drink from his flagon and puts it down.
To be honest, I'm more of a soldier than a businessman.
Oh. They come in soldiers. Or I say, you come in soldiers. I thought it was builders and businessmen.
Builders, diggers, and businessmen.
Yeah. Builders, diggers, and businessmen.
Yeah. You only meet us in the... Well, you usually meet us in the worst cases. Nobody's silly enough to go to war with the dwarves.
Yeah, there we go. Excellent. The dwarf you're looking for is Klassen Hammerhorn.
Sorry.
Klassen Hammerhorn.
Klassen. Hammerhorn.
Yep.
Thank you to both Oz and Radio for that name. It's a stout dwarf, a little shorter than you, by an inch or two. His black hair, his beard, is about... And he makes a motion to, like, just below chest level. Black.
Yep.
Bearded. Red-cheeked. Goes to several different establishments, but the one that he is known for, or known most to frequent, let's see.
I thought it was over here. Is that... Nope, that's not it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it's one of these. We have one of these. That one.
Okay. The one he's most known to frequent is the Ticklish Pearl. He's been here for several months. There was another one, but they left, replaced with this fine gentleman. He really enjoys his cinnabar. And John, you know cinnabar is just an extremely unrefined version of what you bought yourself.
Yeah.
The snake oil.
Excellent.
There's ruckus across the bar.
Was it this one that he's from? No. Or was it this one that he's from, or was it the tweaker that's from?
That's the tweaker.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Do we know what role he played?
We know somewhat. We know that he was not the planner, but he did set everything. He did set. He's a builder, I believe. You would know him by his clan name of, well, like you said, Hammerhorn. They are builders on your Iron Home, right?
The family, yes. But Not every dwarf must follow their family's profession.
Ah, right. I forgot.
Some of them are builders, some of them are traders.
Ah.
Traitors.
He laughs at that. Apologies. I should not laugh at that.
That's okay, I smile after I say it.
Okay.
The laugh is okay.
My understanding is that he was one of the few that were tasked with setting the explosives.
I see.
He was not the leader of them. I know that for sure. Neither was the one here that was before. I believe his name was and he like slows down his thoughts a little bit. What was his name? Jack. It sounded very similar to Stromson, but it was not Stromson, obviously.
Scalebait.
Scalebait, that's it. Jack Scalebait. He was here previously. My understanding is that he was the one who measured out how did the calculations on how much would be needed?
Scalebait clan are dragon hunters.
Or maybe it was, or maybe it was that, or maybe it was attracting the Leviathan. We couldn't quite narrow it down. He bragged a lot. He bragged a lot to my lovely ladies.
Yeah, those with minor roles do try to play them up.
The ruckus from the across the bar has died down a bit. Beryl has returned back over. He puts a bloodied hatchet onto the section behind the door and puts an unloaded crossbow onto the table as he digs around for an extra crossbow bolt.
Oh, actually, I apologize. I should have said what he frequents the most. I apologize. That's the whorehouse he frequents the most, the Ticklish Pearl. I have a vested interest in it, as I do most of the establishments in town. But that one is a satellite operation, a test run for ladies who would like to be a part of the Filthy Hammer. Anyway, the drug den that he goes to the most is called the Ever Emptying Wallet. Thank you, Eric DeMage, for that name.
Yeah.
The
It's a
Ever
bar,
Emptying
a gambling
Wallet.
hall, and of course,
That's cute.
an establishment that caters to dwarven vices.
Of course. Oh man. Excellent. Sorry, I'm trying to think of what I would ask now in this situation, because
Yeah.
I know that he's not giving me everything, because I have to dig a little bit.
You just paid him 6 gold for information.
He should probably be giving you
He's
everything.
giving you...
If he's not giving you everything, you should ask for your money back.
Right, exactly.
He also told you that his ladies pick up all his information. He told you the drug den that the guy goes to, and
Yep.
the whorehouse
Yep.
that the guy attends to.
Gave you a description of the dwarf you're looking for.
Told
Gave
you his name.
His name. He also gave
Yep.
you the name of the person who was here before that one.
Yep.
So, Hammerhorn is probably like a blacksmith, or so their family lines are builders and crafters and stuff. So that can be useful as well. I mean, especially if he still sticks to his family's trade.
Make sure you're writing all this down, dude. By the way,
Oh yeah, yeah.
especially the scale something that I.
Scalebait.
Scalebait.
Yeah, Jack Scalebait.
Jack
And it's
Scalebait.
Jack with a Q.
Oh, Jacques.
What an asshole.
I know, right?
This is, yeah. That's what he goes by. Whatever his first name really is, it's uncertain. But
you should ask if he has a ship or something, or a vessel of some sort. Because he has to get around somehow, right?
Oh.
Am I not thinking?
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying that I should ask Sparks if Sparks has a boat.
You have a boat, Mr. Sparks. No.
I don't know. I imagine he's kind of like broke-ish. Wait, so why does the group keep a man here?
So, why would anyone keep a man here? There's a lot happening.
Yeah, yeah.
Ear to the ground. Apologies, you're not. Is this your first time in Spindlehaven?
First time on business.
Ah. Right. I am quite certain that the separatists like to keep someone here just to keep an ear to the ground, so to speak. Unfortunately, they don't have the network that I do. And
Yeah.
I take care of those of my paying clients, so no one should know that you're here or where you're from.
Would Sparks be friendly enough knowing that he doesn't know what he's doing, that he's a soldier, they paid 6
Yeah,
gold?
exactly.
So Sparks would tell him they probably have a safe house here, someplace where they ferret goods, ferry, not ferret, ferry goods back and forth, keep people, stuff like that. So this is just a stopping point along their route for whatever purpose they're working toward.
Exactly. So there might be, it's like, well, he doesn't say it's like might. It's like there are others that are part of this separatist movement, but that is the one that is definitely the most vocal, and probably the easiest one to find and get information from. Unless you plan on joining them.
I don't think Sparks would say that.
No, he wouldn't.
No, he wouldn't say that. He would.
Yep.
You paid 6 gold to just join a bunch of gang members. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's like, does that satisfy your requests? The request of your clan, I should say.
So I'll finally pick up that glass with the drink in it, and I'll hold it out and say, I think we have a completed contract.
Excellent. I've never seen you before in my life.
Yep, and then after I shoot that, I'll chug the dwarven ale.
Nail chaser.
A nice toasty, warm sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and excuse myself.
Excuse yourself and go where?
I've got a date.
You do.
I've got a date with a maiden whose hair must have been forged in the furnace of the stars.
And why didn't you tell her that?
Oh, that's what I'm telling her as soon as I slide up.
Well, we will be saving those lines for some other day.
Write that shit down, dude.
This is the end of our show.
Oh man, so thank you everyone for joining us tonight, and coming along on our adventures in the Shattered Isles. We definitely appreciate it. We look forward to sharing more lore with you on our next session, especially regarding seconders and dwarven drug habits.
Yep. Isn't that weird? I don't know. That's weird, but I think it's kind of cool. Not the weird things that we're sharing, because most of the time it's like, this is the land of la and here elves grow cool little things and live in big cities made of white stuff, and oh, that's amazing, and there's a dragon over here. That's what lore happens to be for a lot of people. Man, I'm just gonna say that ain't lore. Lore is like,
that's fluff.
That's fluff. Laura's like, what kind of drugs do dwarves do? What?
I mean, yeah.
What do you
What's the delivery mechanism?
What do you mean mages are racist?
Not
Well, they are.
all.
Not all.
Hashtag not all.
Hashtag not all.
Mages.
Oh.
So, yeah, radio. What kind of crazy adventures is Larry going to be getting up to? Because you are the avatar of Larry as far as we're concerned.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
you let
Yeah.
us know what kind of fun shit he gets up to so we can do some cutscenes.
We can definitely have some fun with those cutscenes next
My
game
God.
session in 2 weeks.
Yeah, how does Larry make some spending money?
Right? Does he take out a payday loan?
Oh my god, is it wrong that I just imagine him dancing on the street and then that's how he gets his money, making a fool of himself?
I mean,
I don't know if he would make a fool of himself, but I mean, he could find ways to make money. I would say that.
yeah, like, you know, shank somebody in an alleyway.
Yeah. Well,
I
do
mean,
that. I don't know. You know what? I don't know if he would do that, but you know who would? Radio would. So let us know if you guys would like
Radio
to,
would shank somebody in an alleyway and steal their money.
if you know, and definitely. So let's go ahead and we're gonna wrap things up. Number one, if you guys have cool ideas for NPCs or what Larry would do, or what
Hashtag what would Larry do?
or even like, you know, the kinds of people that Thomas and Kodrog are going to interact with on our next game session, you can put that in our Discord. And not only can you put that information into the Discord, you know, like cool NPCs, things to interact with, that kind of thing, you can also help us with our building of this game system, because we want you guys to help us so we can make the best game system for everyone to be able to use, and we need your help to do that.
I've got my pillars written out on my Discord, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to jump over to the Discord, you're going to find the channels in question, you're going to read about the pillars that I would like to see for this game system. You're going to argue with me or converse with me about what you think is good or bad about them. I take all sorts of, you know, critiquing information. Talk to me. We'll work out some ideas. I need to get with radio and stop putting this off about having a get together and do character generation. Sorry, radio. It's just, you know, I've been busy. I've been doing stuff.
Mm-hmm. So another thing for you guys, I know we've said it. I think this is probably going to be the 4th time we said it.
3 times.
Three times. Okay. Like I said, this is the 4th. I knew.
You did.
Yes. Anyway, everyone, we need to know what you guys want to see, and in order to do that, we need you to go to this link right here, read through the different options of games that you think are cool, and choose the one that you want to see us do the most. And when we will be able to reveal that information on John's Civ 6 stream on Wednesday night. When do you start, John?
I will be starting my stream as close to 6 o'clock as possible.
And he's going to be streaming on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/original_box_set. And it's right there in the chat for you guys to check out. Make sure you follow us so you know when we go live, especially on Wednesday, so you can find out which game we are going to be playing on Fridays. And if you would like to take a further look at what we do, you can go to originalboxset.com and check out all of the cool links and stuff that we have there. Okay, so other than that, now we've plugged the hell out of Original Box Set. I'm gonna plug my own stuff. Hi,
Do it!
I'm Cassie, and I am the head alchemist of Pure Alchemy Soaps. Do you like being clean? Do you like smelling great?
Yeah.
Well, if you like both of those things, which I hope that you do, you can go to my Etsy page, which is not. You can go to my Etsy page and you can create your character, your fantasy RPG character. You choose your race, your class, your alignment, and when you do that, I send it to you. 3 soaps, $25, super great smelling, all of the great stuff. And you're helping me out because this is my actual real job, guys. I go to conventions, and people buy it, and that's how I make my living. And I'd love your guys' support, or if you really like to have just your own smell, you can be like, hey, I want to smell like Tootsie Pops and roses. I will make you a smell that's Tootsie Pops and roses. Anyway, that's
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
what I
she can do it. I mean,
She has the technology.
But it's not just me that has some cool stuff going on. Paige, you have some cool stuff going on.
I do! Hello! My name is Paige. I'm an artist. And like all people, everyone likes art. Everyone looks at art and goes, wow, that's a square. And they like it, or they hate it, and they don't understand it. Well, if you don't want to understand my artwork, or you want to understand my artwork, you can go to all of these things and look at them and go, wow, look at that. She sucks. And then you can buy it. And you can go past my old art and buy that. You just have to message me on either 3 of these things. I also may have a major sale coming up because Mother Day is coming around. I'm gonna say this really quiet. Mother Day is coming up, and I have no money, and my mom's the fucking best, and I want to buy her something. So, I'm gonna have this major sale where most of my artwork's gonna be $10. As I say that with like fear, but yeah. So please check that out.
And you're not selling prints. You're selling the original pieces, right?
Yeah, that's another huge thing, which in the future, if I'm rich and I can buy a printer, I will sell prints. But all of my artwork that you will get is 100% original. They're all hand-drawn, obviously, with pen, pencil, pencil, pen. But yeah, if you don't find something on my Instagram, because I highly recommend my Instagram, because that's where I post everything. But if you don't find something that meets your standards, you could message me and be like, hey, I want a dwarvish rogue that has
hatchets.
And a
lot of knives.
Yeah. Or, if you want a very flamboyant mage. So please do that. I feel like, in my personal opinion, that's more important than my Twitch career. But other than that, speaking of my Twitch career, you guys can see me on Join the Anarchy. I don't know when that is because I don't have my my planner nearby.
It's not
but that's
Monday. It's gonna be the following Monday.
It's next, so that's April.
I have a calendar here.
Thank you.
It's gonna be April 14th.
Yeah, that's 4 days away from my birthday, by the way. My birthday's on April 18th.
Excellent.
And then after
Witches,
that,
both of us are gonna be on Night Witches on
that's
the 24th. But
right?
then we'll be back on the Shattered Isles in 2 weeks on the 20th. So check us all out.
So that's all I have to plug, I think. There's something else in my life that I have to plug. Thanks. Thanks for listening to me rant.
Ooh, yours is on the 14th.
Excellent.
Pre-happy birthday.
Ooh!
Join on Anarchy the 14th, and they'll help you celebrate your birthday, I bet.
Dude, we would totally sing to you. I would fucking make Oz sing to you. Because he's not a huge person on singing, but I mean, this is happy birthday.
Right.
Like.
So, thank you, everyone, for joining us. Please follow all of these links. Check them out. Make sure you follow Original Box Set on Twitch so you know when we go live and we do cool stuff.
Yep.
Next.
What?
Go ahead. Oh, Jon! Jon!
I want to plug my stuff too.
I apologize.
So Wednesday is my new official night. So come join me on my extremely casual play of my second playthrough. This time we're doing Mansa Musa, the Mali. We're going for a science victory because we got all the money and we want to be billionaires in space. So come join the struggle because last game I thought I was going to lose like 4 separate times.
It was pretty tense.
Yep.
Oh, and then it blue screened. So
Best part of the game.
that was fun.
I really hope someone clipped that. That was beautiful when that happened.
The most exciting thing that's going to be happening in that stream is I will be announcing the winner of the straw poll at some random time. So come watch the entire thing to find out who wins.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do it.
See it?
All right. I will plug last.
Okay.
The poll will determine what I run on Fridays. I would like... Go ahead and open that back up.
Oh.
I would like that Friday the 12th, I pop on.
No, well, actually, be the 19th.
Friday the 19th.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for correcting me. Friday the 19th, I pop on and say, "Howdy ho! Everybody, here's what we've got going on. Here's the game
You
we're
better
gonna
say
play."
hi ho on Friday.
I will definitely be doing that. And why can't I do it the 12th again?
Because you're coming with me to my convention that weekend.
That's right. I'm going on a convention run.
Yeah, we're selling the shit out of some soaps.
Sell all of it.
I'm going to sell soaps. On that Friday the 19th, I would like to be doing my first run of whatever it happens to be, whether it is one of the 4 choices. Definitely go check out and see which of the 4 choices. Pick something. Right now, my heart goes out to all of them. I want all of them to win, but that's just not going to happen. If you guys want to jump on the Discord and talk to me about the different ones and what you think about them, I can share so many stories about the different games that I've ran. And this isn't like I'm making something up and off the fly. This is games I've already run once beforehand. So I'm just regurgitating old games, and they're all good. Oh man, getting stuck in the toilet in the magic shop. Too much fun. That was a fun game. Anyways, last but not least, on the 19th, Paige and I, around 10 p.m., if she can stay awake, are going to sit down. And if I can find a second person, I'm currently looking for a second person to broadcast with. If we don't get it, we don't get it. It's just going to be me and Paige. And we're going to be playing Friday Night Frights. Using the system I'm currently building right now. I'm going to be running a horror-based game where Paige and maybe someone else will be playing an FBI agent. And these 2 individuals will be investigating weird stuff. Now, a lot of you are probably like, hey, that's just like X-Files. Yeah, it's just like X-Files. Sure. It's not, because it's just scarier. I mean, X-Files is like, ooh, the lights went out. We're so scared. Nah. The lights went out. Something touched my foot and yanked me into the ceiling. I'm dead. Oh, fuck. Yeah. Friday Night Frights is actually, I'm going to be, I read a lot of horror. I watch a lot of horror stuff. And so this is going to be a lot of powwowing. We've already got the first game figured out, and everybody agrees it's kind of scary. So we're going to see how that works out for us.
I'm excited because when I'm playing video games or RPGs, I rarely get spooked. Yeah. So this will be exciting.
I'm hoping to spook you. I'm hoping for you to become scared of ceiling tiles or walking up to the basement and the light actually stays on kind of thing. There's a lot about the genre itself of horror that I find entertaining. A lot of tension to build. I don't want to discuss it much, but the 19th I will be doing a double header. I'll be starting my first show for whatever the vote comes back, and then me and Paige will be playing Friday Night Frights.
Yay! All right, so I think we are covered for the time being. We will be back. Original Box Set will be back on the Shadowcasters network in 2 weeks for the Shattered Isles continuation in Spindlehaven. So definitely tune in then, 5 p.m. Eastern time till whenever we stop.
And for all the original box set shows, check us out on our original box set channel. And then, yeah, it's going to be great. I'm excited.
So thank you everyone for joining us. Hasio Terror of Death, check out our rerun for this so you can get caught up, and then go over to YouTube so you can get caught up on all of our other cool stuff. So other than that, I think we're good. Okay, guys. Have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us. Big love.
We love you.
Bye.
Goodbye, friends.